Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. 7 KMH 734 8 UIJ 256. Monitoring with the Ontario Police, who are loitering in relevant position on what is G Street and Vineyard 8 MAM 256. You have Ontario Police group stalking. They are in front of what is I want to say the Sheraton, the Ramada, excuse me. This is the Ramada right here. And it is currently 1:38 a.m. License plate 1591585, 1614285, 1503465, and 1451828 in front of the Ramada. This is P.O.C. They're group stalking. They have all 4 vehicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, lit up at the Ramada. This is P.O.C. This is the same venue, by the way, where the state was keeping its fake sun at the Ramada on G Street. In 2020, I was here with Tracy Banks, who was monitoring at this venue. This is P.O.C. right now as well. I want to be clear, this is the same venue, though, where I have already been. They were engaging in the federal group stalking and monitoring, harassment, and engaging in what is keeping a fake sun directed light, the state aiming directed light inside of the room where I was kept here, and they're engaging in what is harassment. This is in 2020, where I then walked down the street from this venue onto what was Vineyard, and the state keeping its fake sun over me. I have documented this. This was in writings where I've already published the license plates of third parties and state actors coming from this venue, which was July of 2020. This is P.O.C. at 1:39 a.m. 8LIV, I can't really see that one. Monitoring with the police, I want to get 8LOC 832. This is P.O.C. All right, I did document video, and in addition to what I documented, which are all 4 of those license plates, this is, you're going to pay attention what is the heavy police presence. These are demons that engage in this conduct. They're using their vehicles as light activity. They're in relevant position. They're monitoring with the people. They are, in fact, engaging in criminal monitoring with the people that they are engaging in form with. So this is the provision of what is form while the demonic system is underway. And I captured video of that. And this is at, again, third-party facilitating venue, the Ramada. Here we go, right here. And it is currently 1:41 a.m. All right, this is Ontario Police. I recited all 4 vehicles. This is the Ramada. Again, this is 1451828. This is light activity in relevant position at the Ramada, which is a third-party facilitating venue. They are monitoring with the people, okay? This is P.O.C. while the entity is monitoring and knows that I'm driving to pick up Tracy Banks. This is P.O.C. at 1:40 a.m. at the Ramada, which is a third-party facilitating venue, engaged in P.O.C., where I was subject to federal group stalking and monitoring at that venue in what is July of 2020. Monitoring a relevant position, this one right here, stalking in the parking lot, 8 POK 360. This is relevant positioning. This is P.O.C. REB 993. This is the Del Taco at G Street and Mountain. They're patrolling in the parking lot, especially as I start operating, playing my podcast of documenting the Ontario PD 6JQR664. It is 2:21 a.m. And also 8 BMZ 619. No, I'm waiting based on the P.O.C. They're in the parking lot monitoring with the rest of these minions in line, and the line goes based on what I'm doing. This is relevant positioning, and patrolling, heavy patrolling, and touching with light as I start playing back my podcast, documenting the Ontario PD engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring at the Ramada on G Street. It's 2:22 a.m. 7ZAE 854 8HYB 154 7YRX 078 7CDH 819 7DT8 207 and 8XHM 301. They're all loitering around the Del Taco and on the property of the Del Taco. It is 2:24 a.m. All right, stalking in the path under the fake sun at 630 North Fern. This is license plate 8EVK179. It's 8:39 a.m. and I captured video also of what is the state's fake sun over 630 North Fern. And again, like I already showed yesterday while I was at that property. Let me get this over here. This is license plate 8ZBA426 8TGT047. Like I showed yesterday while I'm at the property, the state's fake sun is over the American Inn, as I show at 8:48 a.m. Again, the state's fake sun is present before this time. The state engages in shining its directed light, placing, making its fake sun more visible as opposed to keeping it subdued based on my presence at the American Inn, and based on what I'm doing inside of the room as well. Okay, so the state engages in, as I am forcibly beginning to pack up my belongings, getting ready to leave, the state engages in immediately radiating what is directed light through the window, and I only engage in using that time at 8:48 a.m. to illustrate a point. All right, for purposes of more easily understanding what is stalking with the fake sun. So I am drawing a comparison to what would actually be the sun, and what is actually possible. So using what is a specific timestamp, and it actually is also equally illustrative and demonstrative of stalking with a fake sun when you are speaking to what is the relative time, and as far as duration, and also you're looking at what the state is doing with this maintenance of this light source directly over my head. So with regard to that, this morning, like I stated yesterday morning, while the state's fake sun was not only over the American Inn, which is, I mean, a glaring departure from anything that is even possible with regard to what I am doing and what the state is doing with the fake sun. The state is stalking with a light source in the sky because it's monitoring, operating a demonic targeting system, and the state's fake sun remains relative to me. And so this is how it is a glaring departure, because you have what is maintaining presence over me at the same time at 8:48 a.m. I have been already present at what is the B&G Plaza, all right? And you have the state's fake sun, which is in the total opposite direction. This is what I showed yesterday while I'm at the B&G Plaza in the afternoon. And I'm showing you in the opposite direction. There's not even any light source in the direction of American Inn on Euclid Avenue. They are in exactly the opposite direction. My body would have to be facing the Ontario Town Square townhomes, and my back is to the Ontario Town Square townhomes as I'm capturing the state's fake sun as it is over my head and remaining. And this is what I'm showing you again yesterday as I go to that venue of the B&G Plaza where I am present early in the morning, and the state's fake sun is there. And in conflict with that very documentation, you have what is, it's not in conflict with the pattern of conduct though, because I've already documented the state keeping the fake sun over the B&G Plaza all day long. Literally. But like I said, that's not the sun though. That's impossible, and that is called stalking with light. The departure is that while I am at American Inn at 7555 North Euclid Avenue, I'm going to get this demon's license plate. Monitoring inside of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. This is a white male driving a white GMC truck. And this is license plate 31456J2. While I am remaining at the American Inn, the State's Fake Sun 8MWR193. The State's Fake Sun is over the American Inn, and it is also not just over the American Inn, where I would never be able to capture it, where the State's Fake Sun is, as documentation has established, acting like the sun is over the B&G Plaza at that time at 8:48 a.m. But also, that's only if you forget that at 8:48 a.m. when I am at the Motel 6 in Ontario on 4th Street at 1560 East 4th Street, the State's Fake Sun is not over the B&G Plaza, because if it was, I would not have been able to capture it over that Motel 6 at 8:48 in the morning, while the state was aiming what is not sunlight, directed light. Also another hallmark showing what is stalking with light. That is not the sun, and also that's not sunlight. That was inside of that hotel room. And so yesterday at American Inn, yesterday being December 31st, 2021, the State's Fake Sun is over the American Inn, and not just over the American Inn. The state is aiming directed light precisely onto the window of that room that I am inside of at American Inn, and the state remains there for the duration of my stay. And that was till I exited also for at 11 o'clock in the morning. I exit the room. I exit the property, and the State's Fake Sun remains there. And all I do is like walk next door to where the Bank of America is, and that's what I'm showing you in those videos, where the demon possessed, who are the people of the state, these are not just ordinary criminals who are stalking together, and they are stalking under what is an environment that's deliberately maintained. It is conducive to monitoring, and it is also entirely demonic and abnormal with directed light, all right? And with the state stalking with commercial airline planes and helicopters, which is not exclusive to Ontario. Okay, so as I start documenting, you have what the state is engaging in, which is failing, because stalking is stalking. In any way you try to adjust that stalking activity, it is substantially stalking still. It does not change. And this is for a prolonged period. And so you have this ongoing environment, you have this ongoing pattern of conduct, and the people of the state are stalking. And as I'm next door at the Bank of America, and you have what is the State's Fake Sun that is over my head at the Bank of America, and you understand the Bank of America is separating the American Inn with a brick wall. This is the state remaining with that fake sun, and that's exactly what I was capturing on video, okay? And so this is with regard to today, January 1st, 2022. The State's Fake Sun is seen over the property, as I was stating yesterday, as is the case, as I have already established, over 630 North Friend, because the state is stalking with the fake sun, all right? And the State's Fake Sun is visible over the venue of 630 North Friend. The state is aiming directed light inside of the car where I am sleeping, which the state is doing day and night. Okay, this just like the state was flying over my hotel room at American Inn. The state flies over the vehicle where I am sleeping. The state by helicopter. The state engages in the pattern of stalking by helicopter where I was sleeping outside at the Ontario Museum of History and Art. This is an ongoing pattern. Stalking with light is the aspect of an overall pattern of conduct. It's not separate. Okay, and this is how I'm saying all of those hallmarks are a part of the ongoing established pattern of conduct. And there is no slicing and dicing that. The state is engaging in an ongoing package of criminally and demented conduct in concert with the people of the state. And so the State's Fake Sun is over the venue of 630 North Fern this morning at 8:30, and this is what I capture on video. And I also go ahead and venture up to the intersection so you can see the distance of where I am at, which is at Fern and G Street. And this is also the same street, or as I walk up to this intersection. This is at 8:30 in the morning. This is before what is 8:48 in the morning. So, I mean, as far as sequence goes, but you're talking about what is at 630 North Fern. There is no time, and also established based on the pattern of stalking with the fake sun, as I have demonstrated, as I have revealed to you. There is no point where the State's Fake Sun is going to migrate to be visible over the roof of that American Inn, aiming directed light, which is supposed to be sunlight for the ignoramus that does not understand, that does not know, or I'm sorry, not the ignoramus, because one who is genuinely ignorant is not an ignoramus. I'm speaking to what is the biased and the demon-possessed group stalker and or state actor that are seeking to assert that that's the actual sun over the American Inn, and totally necessarily disregarding the documentation that fully establishes that it is not, and it is impossible. Also because the actual sun is not remaining in one county, in one city, on one strip of street, and remaining over one person's head, which is what my documentation shows, remaining over any building, remaining over me. That's not the sun. And it is to the exclusion of literally not just the rest of the country, but the world. Okay. And that's the consequence of stalking with something such as the sun, which is the exclusivity of that. The state's fake sun is over 630 North Fern at 8:30 in the morning. And also, as you can see, where I go up to the intersection of Fern and G Street, that is not going to be visible anywhere from the room 217 of American Inn, not from the property at all. Okay. You would be facing your body, which would be from American Inn on Euclid Avenue, you'd be facing your body west. And from facing your body west, you are not going to see it from that room, from the front door entrance, nor would you see it from the patio entrance where I showed you the state's fake sun over the roof of that side, where I'm stepping out on the patio at 8:48 a.m. That's the vantage point of you're looking at. You're not going to see that, and it's impossible to see it. And it's hovering over the 630 North Fern venue. Not only that, I'm showing you where I am standing at the Rite Aid parking lot area where the state's kept its fake sun as I showed you at 11:39 a.m., as I showed you at 11:50 a.m. And this is the same strip where the state's fake sun is. I'm capturing it at 8:30 in the morning. That is not the sun either. And that is called remaining with a light source. And not only did it remain, which is not the sun, you're talking about remaining over me. Okay, that's the exclusivity of that. That is the impossibility of that being the sun also. And it is pursuant to the pattern of conduct. It is currently 8:49 a.m. All right, I did capture video at 8:49 a.m. That's why I recited the time at that particular moment, because I'm drawing a picture, if you will, for understanding what is ongoing stalking with light. And this is also understanding what is drawing the picture of what is the terrorist, the domestic enemy that is unfortunately the government. The state of California is what is referred to as a domestic enemy, and it is, in the diametric opposition to the way that things are supposed to be, especially in the United States, but this is the reality, and this is documentation that is establishing what is relevant to stalking with light. What is relevant, and why are you stalking with that which is not the sun? That is a fact, that the entity is stalking with a fake sun. Why is that not something that is laughable? Why is that something that is entirely serious? Why is that something that is probative of an even bigger picture? It is revealing what is the existence of a system, an unspoken system. And I'm showing you what are dangerous psychopaths. The fact of the state stalking with a fake sun is revealing a comprehensive targeting system that is in the state of California in operation, ceaseless operation. But it is not limited to the state of California. By virtue of the fact of stalking with what is a fake sun, understand, first of all, and this is not, this is just this is common sense. Okay. So for example, this is what the state of California is doing. And for example, so in Los Angeles, I'm in Ontario. In Los Angeles, they have a fake sun over them. This is how you're maintaining what is a sunny day. And let me be clear, on the news, when you're looking at the news reports and they're giving you the weather for today and they're showing you the sunset, these are minions. This is an entirely comprehensive system. And this is a fake sun. This is not actually the sun. The sun is not maintaining ubiquitous presence over people in Northern California while maintaining ubiquitous presence over my head everywhere that I'm going in Ontario, California. That is not the case. It is not the same sky space. This is a hovering light source. It is replete with what is directed light. You've also seen that's not even sunlight. And it's also not the sun. Okay, you have what is remaining over my head, maintaining this central presence over my head with that which is not the sun, and molestation with that which is not sunlight. This is speaking to when you are opening your mind and looking at the big picture, you're understanding what are they talking about on the news when they're telling you about the weather, when they're talking about the sunrise, and they're telling you about giving you a forecast about the sunset, and talking about a cloudy day. This is an ongoing comprehensive system, and it is an unspoken system. And I have revealed what is necessarily a comprehensive statewide system, because it is not ignorant, first of all, across state lines. Nevada, it is not reasonable to even suggest that Nevada, in other words, is ignorant about the fact that the state of California is hovering over American citizens with that which is not the sun. All right. And and this is just a matter of common sense. Okay. But again, I'm not documenting Nevada. I'm not in Nevada. I am in California, but I am in the United States, and stalking with something like a fake sun, there are implications. There are implications with that. There are things that are probative. There are things that are necessarily tethered to that. What the state of California is doing is revealing what another state in the Union, in the United States, is doing as well. Because you do not have a sun that is over you while I'm showing you what's supposed to be the sun that's remaining over me in one state, in one area of that state, that is Southern California, in one county, in one city, on one street, as I have demonstrated. That's very exclusive. Okay, so you are talking about what is not ignorance of the rest of the states in the United States, okay? And I'll just use Nevada as an example. All right. And let me be clear. I have been to Nevada. I have been to Arizona. I have been to Pennsylvania. I have been to Florida. Okay. I have been to West Virginia. And let me be clear. There is a light source in the sky, as though there is a sun there. And especially in Florida, I was there for my first year of law school, and it was sunny, sun over every single day. That is impossible to coexist with what I am showing the state of California is engaged in. It's not the same light source in the sky, because that's not the sun. All right. And you are understanding what is now my documentation of what is a state system. This is a government system. And this is why I have shown what is step by step revealing a targeting system by the state of California, because I understand that there are levels. And I also understand because it was unbelievable to myself. I didn't just document it to publish it onto the internet and just disperse all this information around. Actually publishing it occurred after the fact, after I had accumulated so much documentation, and after I had documented what is the literal justice system that is corrupt. It is diseased. They are infected. First of all, they're demons. This is a demon-possessed operation, and they are criminals operating in those positions as judges and attorneys, as deputies, as officers of the court, inside of what is none other than a facilitating venue. This is the larger, complex, bigger picture with regard to what I'm revealing. And after I'm documenting this is understanding the levels that are involved with regard to what I am documenting, what I am exposing. But again, at the outset, I am not like, oh, I'm going to document and then I'm going to put it on the internet. That was not my mindset, and it did not start there. Documenting was a matter of understanding what it is that I'm witnessing. Okay, because I know what I'm looking at, I am understanding what I am witnessing, but it's more so was for myself, and then it's also for my own defense of my own constitutional rights, but still figuring that out as I go, but understanding that it's not going to be in the state courts. The entirety of the state is rendered illegitimate where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. It is literally a government that has rendered itself illegitimate, literally operating fictitious authority by virtue of the fact that it is operating a criminal monitoring system. It is the antithesis of what the government is supposed to be and what the government represents itself as, and what it is supposed to be engaged in, and literally antithetical to the very Constitution. All right. Where the government is engaging in that, I just want to be clear. This is just a matter of philosophy. This is understanding the purpose of government. This is understanding the history of this country. It has rendered itself illegitimate by virtue of that. Okay. And that's just the reality. You're talking about the operation of law. You are a criminal. You are in the position of authority as arbitrating the law, analyzing the law, applying the law, executing the law. Where you are in violation of the law, you are abusing that position and exercising that which is not genuine authority under those same laws. Understand, the laws exist outside of those who are using them. Okay, so you're talking about what is tainted by the one who is using that law. The law remains, though, and it is fully capable of being used for its appropriate and right purposes. And so that is the only saving grace of being in the United States. The only one, because you're talking about what is a system of hypocrisy, what is a system that is diseased with public corruption. And that's what the state of California has revealed about itself, because all I did was document it. That's all I did. All right. And the facts speak for themselves. That is clearly not the sun. The state is stalking with a fake sun. And so let's get back down to the point at hand. Why are you stalking with a fake sun? And that is stalking: to follow, to loiter, to remain, to hover around and terrorize with that which is clearly not the sun. And while you do so, you are revealing that that's not the sun. As you do that, You are establishing, you are showing that that's not the sun. It's not possibly the sun. And so why are you doing that though? Not only because you are a demented, demon-possessed entity, because that's what that is. It's demonic. Okay? So if it was, for example, understand in an alternate universe where, say, a person, and I'm just giving it an illustration because I'm juxtaposing what is an individual versus an entity. This is the government that's doing this. This is not an individual. So you have what is, for example, in an alternate universe, say a person was capable of having a son. This is absolutely impossible, but I just want you to understand the picture, the analysis that I'm drawing. If it was a single person that was dragging around a son and not the government, okay? Or say some group, all right, which is absolutely impossible. But if this were the case, understand that that is demonic for that person or that group to engage in that. Stalking with light is the conduct of demons. Okay. Demons, that is, the satanic is an operation over the government. The satanic is an operation over a people. And now, legally speaking, as you are prosecuting criminal conduct amongst the demon possessed in a federal court, that is referred to as what is third parties and or state actors who are engaging in what is a criminal system that is entirely demented and it is demonic at its core. And this is revealing what is an entirely diseased and infected government and a people who are a part of that government while criminal monitoring is underway. This is an entirely a criminal contract, if you will, between the people and the government as they are targeting specific citizens. All right. This is the reality of, and these are the implications of revealing that you are stalking with a fake son, as incredible as that is. But it is documented and it is incontrovertible evidence of what is following and remaining over me. And also as incontrovertible as it is, as unfathomable, as incredible as that is, it is not only terrorizing, it is the very conduct itself is revealing and speaking to what everyone else is doing. By everyone else, I mean every other state in the United States. And that's just keeping it to the U.S. Okay? Because like I said, the United States is not the center of the universe. Contrary to what to what they think, to what we, literally present ourselves as, conduct ourselves as. We are not the center of the universe. All right? And you have what is revealing what is not the sun, for example, in another state. That's not possibly the sun. I've shown you documentation of what's supposed to be the sun, and it's remaining over me in a single part of the state of California, Southern California, in a single county, in a single city, depending on if I stay in Ontario or if I travel across city lines to Fontana, it's remaining in the same county, and it's remaining over me, over my head, over the building that I'm inside of. That is very exclusive, and it is probative of what the rest of the country is doing. That's how it is showing what is a bigger picture. But I understand that there are levels. So establishing, first of all, you need to understand the state of California is stalking with a fake sun. The people of the state of California are necessarily stalking with the government that is stalking with a fake sun. You're looking at what are the hallmarks of that. These are demons that are doing so. Directed light inside of, or wherever it is that I am. So demons are stalking in the path right now, and the state is aiming directed light inside of the car. While the fake sun, as I just captured in video again, is back over 630 North Fern, after I captured it over the Ontario Village Shopping Center while I'm at Stater Brothers, moving in real time as I'm driving east on Hall Boulevard after driving west moving from 630 North Fern. All of this, again, 24 hours ago, I am remaining stationary at what is American Inn. The state is keeping its fake sun until after 11 o'clock in the morning. Today, you're juxtaposing that with what is stationary present. This is what I continue to draw, an illustration to understand what is not the sun. Maintaining ubiquitous presence everywhere that I go. It is not shared by third parties as they disperse all around, minions, cockroaches, patrolling all around me while directed light is all over the place. While they're going their separate ways, the state is keeping a fake sun over me. It is not remaining present over all of their heads while they're going whichever direction, wherever they are going. All right. That is group conduct. It's revealing what are demons. These are demon possessed actors who are acting out. The demons are acting out through what are humans. You cannot see the fact that they are demons. They don't look like the disgusting creatures that they are in the spirit. The fact that they are demons is being revealed by virtue of the environment that I'm showing you. You're looking at a demon-possessed stalker while directed light is all over me, all over the buildings around me, all over the ground, all over the vehicles. That's what's revealing they are demons. That is revealing a demonic pattern of conduct. It is revealing what is a demon-possessed government that is operating that system in concert with the demons who are surrounding. All right. This is the spiritual reality of what's going on in the state of California, i.e. in the United States. All right. You have what is revealing what is demonic activity as you slicing down, getting past the surfaces. Now, with regard to handling these demons, this demonic activity, this demonic system operated by a government, they're assigned statuses under the law. These are third parties. The Ontario Police Department, as you are witnessing what are demons stalking under a fake sun and indirected light, engaging in what is facilitation while they create light activity in that deliberately maintained environment around me. All right. Demon possessed in those positions of law enforcement, stalking. All right. That is terrorism on more than one level. And it is also criminal while they are engaged in interstate stalking as the demons that they are. They're demon possessed stalkers. All right. And they are engaging in the pattern of conduct with the rest of the demons. They are just demons that are clothed in uniforms, identifying as they're supposed to be executors of the law while they are in violation of the law, while they are demon possessed psychopaths. All right. Operation of what is a criminal system in the state of California. And they are doing nothing but providing what is an understanding, the template for what is the role of law enforcement, if you will, in what is a state system of federal group stalking and monitoring. They're doing so under the fake sun. As you are looking at the Ontario Police Department under the fake sun and indirected light, creating light activity in that environment, you are witnessing what are demons. You are witnessing what are demons who are engaging in violation of the law while they are wearing the very uniforms. It is the heights of hypocrisy. Okay, with knowledge of the fact, by the way, based on the nature of the crime of monitoring, they know also, and this is what is so despicable and what is so disturbing. They know that they're being documented. And we are in the United States, and this is what I'm documenting. This is what I am capturing. This is what I am revealing. This is the reality. Okay. And so you were talking about what is necessary while they engage in that system. What is necessary as a matter of justice? What is necessary as a matter of what is legislation to deal with what are demons? This is demonic activity. It's entirely twisted. It is called what is terrorism in the U.S. This is terrorism. While the entity is operating, the government, which is a domestic enemy, by the way, where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, the entirety of that entity is corrupt. It lacks any legitimacy whatsoever. And you see that from the people of the state on up. Every level of government, the people of the state are engaging in an unspoken system, and they are very dangerous psychopaths, violent sex offenders, and obsessed stalkers. They're demon possessed at their core, and that's what is feeding that. That's where that comes from. All right. So you are dealing with, first of all, demented spirits operating over people. And those people are in positions of government. They are in positions of law enforcement. They're in positions in the courts. They are engaged in what is an unspoken system. And this is the illegitimacy of that entire entity. Every single level of government where federal group stalking and monitoring, that pattern of conduct is revealed. And that's exactly what is spoken to. That's exactly what is revealed, where you are stalking with a fake sun. And that's exactly what the state of California is doing. And to be stalking with a fake sun is revealing, first of all, the fact that what the rest of the country is doing, it is, first of all, shining a light on what you're looking at on the news, on what they are telling you about with regard to the weather, with regard to the sunrise and the sunset. Okay, those are minions. And these are the state of California is keeping a fake sun. This is not the only fake sun, because you're talking about what is keeping it sunny in San Francisco, because it ain't the sun over me in Ontario. That's impossible. While you see it precisely over the 630 North Fern venue right here where I'm at, directed light over me where I am at. That's what I've shown you in my wealth of documentation. There is no argument. I have shown it to you, and it is irreducible. It is established. All right. As a matter of evidence, it's established, because I've already shown this. I have already witnessed this. All I did was document it for purposes of I must not be the only person that is subject to this criminal system by the government. And so what am I doing now? I am revealing how you are able to confront the government that is targeting American citizens. This is what the government is doing. And it is despicable. All right. And it is designed at the outset to provide no way for you to enforce your rights. And the government designed this system such that it is virtually, seemingly impossible to do so, where every single last one, every single state actor, every single third party they're demons. This is an entirely comprehensively corrupt system, and it is riddled with what are demons who are targeting you. There is no exception to that. The one that is being targeted is the only exception. That is the only exception. Okay. So you were talking about what is designed to remove any possible way in the state court, that is, to address your constitutional rights and your human rights. Where the government is monitoring, that's a violation of human rights. Okay, and an egregious one. Unfathomable ones. Stalking with a fake son? Yes, that's a violation of your human right. It is an unfathomable one, and it is that which is conjured up in the pits of hell. It is demonic. Okay? It is revealing what is wrong with the government that does so. It is revealing what is wrong with the people of the state who are doing so vicariously on behalf of that government that is doing that. Right? And it's the same with directed light. It is the same with the fact that the government is stalking you as an entity. That's what demons do. They act in packs. They're like cockroaches. Okay, I draw that illustration because that is what they are, not only in the spirit, this is what they are based on their conduct. They're cockroaches. They act as a group. They act as a mob. All right. Well, and they're also, understand, you're dealing with what are complex human beings. They're psychopaths who keep their back to you, who conduct themselves as they're focused on something else. All of the environment is revealing the reality. The cockroach that's going after the cookie, that is focused on the cookie crumbs on the floor, can do so walking backwards toward that cookie. You are nonetheless after that cookie. It doesn't change. Okay. And this is literally what Satan is doing and what the people of the state of California are doing. There is no hiding that anymore. I have revealed, first of all, in my eyes, from what I saw from my vantage point and understanding what is the viciousness of this system, where, first of all, the entity is assuming that it's going to get away with it, thinking that you're going to defame me, you're going to kidnap me, you're going to silence me. This is where the true face is shown. And this is shown also, it's still shown today, the entity engaging in theft of property, engaging in ongoing harassment, engaging in what is that ongoing, those ongoing acts of terrorism that accompany the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. But I want to be clear, as I initially started documenting, let me be clear, the true fury, the true wickedness, the true twisted hostility that is unfounded because you're dealing in the natural with human beings. I don't know you, but I have seen the viciousness of those who are demon possessed while they're monitoring and stalking. And as I have the audacity to begin documenting it, and that hostility was illustrated. And this is why, because you're talking about an entity that had never been approached with documentation. And also, again, assuming that they're going to get away with it, assuming that everything that I am documenting at that time is never going to see the light of day. No one's ever going to hear me because I'm going to be depicted as some paranoid schizophrenic based on the defamatory audible activity of none other than Tracy Banks, Eric Corey Spencer, demon-possessed stalkers engaged in the state's pattern of conduct. Doing so in the exact same environment, contributing to the exact same environment. And those are third parties whose name I know. In other words, demons who I'm related to by blood. Demon possession does not run in the blood, thank goodness, okay? And we are distinct in that regard, okay? But they are the same demonic entity, the same third party actors on behalf of the government that's operating this targeted system. And third parties and the state engaging in an ongoing pattern of defamation amongst kidnapping, all right? Amongst theft of property, while also evading service of process. This is the totality of what I have documented and published. All of the criminal acts that the government has engaged in while federal group stalking and monitoring remain ceaselessly underway. Ceaselessly. All right. So with regard to what is stalking with a fake son, you are understanding, again, my second point. What is terrorism, as that system is ceaseless. It is relentless. And that is also the character of what is Satan itself. All right. Satan is nonetheless a loser, but Satan is a very disturbed spirit that's in operation over people. And that is that psychopath that is inspiring, that gives that impulse. They are demons that are very familiar with you. In the natural, that demonic activity is occurring amongst people who you do not know in the natural. Those demons that are operating, that demonic spirit that's operating over people, they're very familiar with you. They know exactly who you are. And how are you, who are observing my documentation on the internet, listening to my podcast, how do you know that? Because of the very environment that they are in. That's revealing the demon that's in front of me, the demons that I'm documenting by license plate. While the directed light is all over the place, while the fake sun is over me, you know that this is not the sun, and you also know that that's not sunlight. That's how you know these are demons. That's how you know what I am telling you is going on in the spirit is going on in the natural before your eyes. That's how you know that. Okay. And so you are understanding what is not just revealing what demonic activity is. This is going to what is a prosecution. I'm not preaching here. I'm prosecuting and I'm prescribing. You are going to prosecute the demonic in a court. You're going to drag Satan in court for the criminal conduct that it's engaged in. And by virtue of stalking with the fake son, like I said, you are understanding what is terrorism because that criminal system is determined. That's terrorism. That is a threatening, terrorizing level of stalking by a government. And it is incredibly determined. That level of determination, which is criminal, it's a threat to your life. It is entirely demented. It is beyond creepy and weird. All right. You are talking about what is terrorism in the United States while you're targeting an American citizen under what is a fake sun. And guess what that fake sun also speaks to? It speaks to what Arizona is doing. It speaks to what the rest of the state of California is doing. It speaks to what Nevada is doing. It speaks to what Texas is doing. It speaks to what every other state in the United States is doing, because it's not under the sun. It's not under the sun. It is speaking to everything else. And that is what is probative. And this is an unspoken system that's in operation in California. But I already said at the outset, this is common sense. To me, this is common sense. If California is doing it, we are at the forefront and I'm not putting myself in the same bubble as what's going on in California, but I mean, geologically speaking, I'm in the state of California. California as a state is at the forefront of many of the things that are going on in the United States. Okay. Calls itself a leader. And that is the case. Now, as far as criminal conduct, that goes, it follows. If this is ongoing in California, let me let you know now, which I have established by my documentation with regard to stalking with a fake sun. Okay. I've also shown this. I drew an illustration with regard 8RNV625. I have drawn an illustration with regard to what is directed light. I showed you in a video that I published relevant to what was November 17, 2021, the newscast. And they claim these are minions. Okay. These are the demon possessed. And they're doing what is a newscast about the murder of the rapper Young Dolph. And let me be clear again. Let me spell out something. I am not personally interested in Young Dolph, and I do not mean to sound cold-hearted or anything. This is not about that. It is not about that particular person. I've never heard of him. I don't listen to his music. What caught my attention was the video that I saw on YouTube and the light activity, because they are under a hovering light source that is not the sun. And so what did I do? You juxtapose that. Look at what my documentation is showing on November 17, 2021, on the same day, during the same time frame where this young man is killed in Memphis, Tennessee. These killers are under what is a light source that is hovering over them. You can see it in the light activity. Their shadows are right there next to them. That light source is not only is it over them, it's hovering over them. You can see it. It's the same engineered light. You can see the pattern. And they are also doing so during the time frame where in the state of California, the state is keeping a fake sun over me. And I am literally, and I've said this before, the state was keeping its fake sun over me as I'm going from the TAD office on Hope Boulevard, which, by the way, the state is engaged in a grand departure where I'm nowhere near that. The state is keeping its fake sun over 630 North Fern, which is a grand departure from what it was doing yesterday on December 31st, 2021. But I'll digress. Back to my point. You have what is the state keeping its fake sun over me on November 17th, where I'm on Hope Boulevard coming from the San Bernardino County office at 1647 West Holt, where the state's fake sun is over my head. And then I go to Fontana on the bus, showing you step by step. The state is following with its fake sun and places its fake sun over the Fontana Lewis Library, which I show you as late as 11:47 a.m. Okay, which is 1:47 Central Standard Time. This young man was killed between the time of 12 to 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I am showing you what is the state's fake sun directly over my head at that pivotal moment. That does not coexist. You do not have one sun in California and one sun in Memphis, Tennessee, and this is how it is exclusive. What the state of California is doing is telling on the rest of the of the United States. Okay, because, and again, the United States, and like I said, there's levels because it goes beyond the United States, but I'll just keep it to the United States because this is where I'm at. I am in California, which is in the United States, but the United States is not the center of the universe. All right. In the same way, where I am on the street in Ontario and San Bernardino County in Southern California in the United States, that is not the center of the universe, contrary to what the state is doing with a fake sun. Okay. All right. So like I said, there are levels to it. What the state is doing in California is revealing what the rest of the country is doing. And then that is telling you what is going on in the rest of the world. That's what that documentation is speaking to. Right. And it is not sophisticated whatsoever. You are stalking with a fake sun because you are monitoring, and you are stalking as you are monitoring. And you're doing so on a massive level with what are not ordinary stalkers. First of all, because they're doing it with the government on behalf of the government. This is how the government is maintaining ubiquitous presence all around you. They're not present in any First Amendment capacity whatsoever. It's criminal conduct. All right. And then guess what? Because it's public corruption, they're engaging in criminal conduct in plain sight, for which they're going to be prosecuted. All right. You don't have any First Amendment rights to stalk in concert and on behalf of the government. And that's exactly what the people of the state are doing. And they're not just engaging in that vicarious conduct on behalf of the government, which is terrorism in and of itself. They're doing it as the demon-possessed stalkers that they are. Terrorists in that regard as well. The very people of the state of California are the domestic enemy. This is the prosecution of what is an entity that is in an environment that is exclusive. It is entirely exclusive. So you were talking about what is surrounding the entity in the state of California with evidence that it cannot, it is insurmountable. There's no getting out of that. But then it is also probative of what the rest of the country is doing. That is what is revealing about the documentation that I have published. All right. You are talking about this is license plate 5TJZ21L, crossing path. And while they're doing that, the state is aiming direct the light across the venue. That's the demon possessed stalker. Okay. That is one who knows exactly who I am, as I have shown in tons and tons of videos. So like I said, you have what is the prosecution of an entire entity. The state's fake sun is over 630 North Fern, while that demon whose license plate I just recited knows exactly who I am. That demon is going to be identified by their name given under the government. Okay, whatever their government is, identifying them by license plate, that's a demon, and they're going to be prosecuted under their name, which they are given in the natural, in what is a court of law. They're going to be prosecuted. All right, and that's speaking to what is the entity. That's just one that's acting on behalf of the people. That's the ongoing pattern of conduct. Stalking with the fake sun is speaking to a comprehensive system that is in operation by a government, and it is a demonic system, and it is that which is shared by every single last person. There is no exception. There is no exception. All right, you're talking about what are the demon possessed, and that's exactly what I'm documenting the Ontario Police Department engaging in. It's not just the Ontario Police Department. I have documented the Los Angeles Police Department. I have documented the Pomona Police Department, the Costa Mesa Police Department, where I'm in Orange County, where I'm in Los Angeles County, the Sheriff's Departments. Okay, you're talking about what is the pattern of conduct that is ceaselessly underway. And yes, I have also shown you, as I deviate from being in San Bernardino County, what does the state do? The sun that is supposedly remaining in Ontario, California, no longer does that. The state keeps what is not the sun over my head as I travel in and out of the county, remaining step by step, moment by moment, minute by minute, over my head as I'm going anywhere. That's not the sun. And it is to the exclusion of every other location. All right. It is very specific to what a targeted individual where I am going. That is to the exclusion of third parties. That is speaking to what is a targeting system. All right. And also you are visibly able to see that that's not the sun, because this fake sun is not only it's not only not the sun based on that conduct as the documentation as I'm showing. You're talking about what is not only to the exclusion of the rest of any other state, let alone any other portion of California. You're talking about what is also a hovering light source. It's a large glob of concentrated light in the sky that is hovering literally over the buildings. If that was actually the sun, like I said, it would set it on fire. That's not the sun in any regard whatsoever. I have shown you what is the state stalking by commercial airline planes. Those are the people of the state using their company businesses, and they are engaged in interstate stalking. That is routine to their business while they are stalking and terrorizing an American citizen who's documenting it. You have license 8H. I can't see that license plate. It is currently 9:49 a.m. By the way, and these demons are listening to me while they're crossing paths, stalking on G Street, listening to me prosecute them on my podcast. The same with the state via airplane as well, and helicopter. So, like I said, it is revealing what is also not the sun just by looking at it. It is a hovering light source. It hovers over the vehicle. It hovers over the buildings where I'm at. That is not the sun in any way whatsoever. Okay. So like I said, this is the reality. This is the breakdown. And that is the substance, the value of the documentation that I have already published. So I'm showing what is the ceaseless system. That is speaking to what is terrorism. The ceaseless nature of the pattern of conduct by the government is the prosecution for what is terrorism by the government and the people. And all of those demons who I have named, those are demons that are operating under the name of what is, for example, Eric Corey Spencer. That's a demon, okay? Whose name I know. They're going to be prosecuted not under the name of demon. They're going to be prosecuted for the human being that Satan is using to engage in criminal conduct in the natural. Because this is demonic activity. And I'm making it manifest as I'm revealing what is demonic conduct. And you're also understanding what is relevant to your everyday life. And that is the fact that demonic activity is very real. It's in your face. People are engaging in it on a ceaseless basis in everyday life. All right. It's not just occurring in some building that you're calling a church. It's not just occurring where they're having some revival in there. No, let me be clear. Those are religious minions, by the way, who falsely depict what is the spiritual reality that is surrounding you on a daily basis at all times. All right. You don't have to be religious to be engaged in that. You are engaged in it whether you know it or not. Let me be clear. These demons, oh, they know that they're engaged in it. They're engaged in an ongoing and lost effort. Okay. Satan has lost the war. I'm revealing, first of all, that Satan is very real. This is nothing, Satan is a defeated entity operating over as many minions as he wants. I'm going to drag every single last one of them in what is a court where you will look at what are the faces of the demon possessed, where Satan is operating over them, including a government. All right. But let me be clear. You are a part of what is the spiritual reality, whether you are aware of that. You don't have to be religious to be a part of that. You are talking about what is being surrounded by spirits. All right. The spiritual reality is very real. And it is that which is in operation in everyday life. And that is how it is relevant, because it is directly tailored to it is what is the inspiration. Okay, the twisted inspiration. This is what is at play where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. It's demonic activity. All right, and this demonic activity is criminal. All right, license 8FCX034. The state is ceaselessly aiming directed light across 325 West G Street, which is impossible light activity, while the state's fake sun is over 630 North Fern, and it is 9:52 a.m. The state's fake sun remains over American Inn, as I showed you yesterday. All right, this is the entity that I'm going to drag in federal court. So like I said, you have what is Satan, that is, I want to be clear, a defeated entity. Satan is pathetic. Satan is pathetic because Satan is stalking in bathroom stalls. Satan is stalking a homeless person, which you're trying to insult me with. First of all, being homeless is nothing but an economic status. And second of all, you do not go into homelessness after putting myself through college successfully and going to law school. This is an economic status that is directly precipitating, as I have stated before, from the criminal conduct of the government and the people of the state, who are obsessive stalkers, posing an unlawful threat to me in the workforce, harassing me in the workforce. And I have worked too long and paid too many debts to be subject to that. All right. So you are talking about what is an ongoing threat to my life as I was subject to it in the workforce, and realizing that and beginning to document it. All right. So first of all, it's an economic status. Satan is the pathetic one. The people of the state and the government are the pathetic ones that are stalking somebody who is in that economic status, while they try to use that as their audible activity while they're stalking me. They're stalking in a bathroom stall. They're stalking while I'm sleeping on the streets outside. And guess what? I could be sleeping anywhere, and I'm going to prosecute them in federal court. I'm not the pathetic one. It's the state of California, the demon-possessed entity that I'm going to drag in broad daylight. Okay? That's what's going on. Okay, so you have what is absolutely pathetic. That's how frightened, by the way, this entire entity is. That's why they are stalking one person with the tool set to reveal it, to reveal what is an unspoken system, to reveal what is an unspoken condition, demon possession, and federal group stalking and monitoring, focused on technology, monitoring with communication devices. This is what this satanic entity is focused on. All right. And doing so, which is in violation of existing criminal law, and doing so also in violation of that which shall be, and necessarily so as a matter of justice, enforced against the government and the people of the state, of whatever state, where you are establishing the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, which is what this the United States is engaging in. The government is monitoring American citizens in the United States. And that is what, again, that cumulative documentation, which I have published in Southern California, is revealing what the rest of the country is doing. And guess what? It's on another level. It's revealing what the rest of the world is doing. Because like I said, the United States is not the center of the universe. So while you are stalking with that which is a fake sun, it is that exclusive. It is revealing what everyone else is doing. Everyone. License plate. Get this demon. 8XVM701. All right. And that's a demon that's focused on me, stalking a homeless person who's in a car. That's Satan that is that petrified, listening to every word that I'm uttering. And that's why directed light is streaming on the street while that demon is stalking in the path under the fake sun that's over 630 North Fern. Okay. So like I said, you are talking about what is understanding the fear of Satan itself as this system is being revealed. But second of all, you're talking about what is enforcing the constitutional and human rights of American citizens who are subject to the criminal and demented targeting system by a government that is translating into what is terrorism. All right. So you're talking about what is the government that targeted the wrong person. You engaged in stalking the wrong person and harassing the wrong person, and doing so because I'm the wrong person I'm the right person. But understand, as far as the government and this entity, I'm the wrong person because I'm the one that's going to bring it to the surface. All right. And I'm going to prosecute it. And also you're talking about what is literally providing the artillery, if you will, for any other American citizen to enforce their constitutional human rights. And that's what S.I.I.S. For federal policy, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering, is literally designed to do. That's what it serves the purpose for. And it is understanding what is at its root demonic, an entirely malicious government and a people. 8Y99367. It's entirely malicious. They're demons. You're not dealing with ordinary people. And that is also shown through the entire environment. And while that demon drives by, light spreading across the venue. Understand, I'm going to prosecute the venues identified with 325 West G Street. That's why directed light is moving across that venue. Because they're a venue, they are monitoring, it's facilitating while demons are driving by, and it is also harassment by the entity. While they're listening to me, you're talking about what is fury, because I'm going to prosecute them. So the entity engages in more of that pattern of conduct, which is prosecuting themselves. It's prosecuting themselves. You know that that's not sunlight. And you also are understanding that ain't the sun. And that's not sunlight. And also, if you don't even understand, if you are willing to be also, even if you want to be stubborn and not accept the fact that I've shown what is clearly not the sun, you are looking at what is not sunlight. That is showing you that that's not the sun. All right. And this, while they're stalking, as I'm documenting on podcasts, filling the vehicle and the venue of 325 West G Street, where 6YOX838 is stalking in relevant position. She has no form. She has no protection inside of that venue. I'm prosecuting her. I'm prosecuting her address, which is a venue. I'm prosecuting the people of the state, because all of them in relevant position are monitoring while that demon drives by, and that which is not sunlight spans backwards after they drive past on Fern, and light is directed light is spreading all across. All right, that's not changing the subject. It's securing what and understanding what is stalking by an entity. These are demons that engage in that conduct. It's the identification of demons. All right. It is also the documentation of inherent harassment while terrorism is underway. Yes, terrorizing an American citizen is inherently harassing. This is harassment by a government, however. That's a whole other level. Okay. You're talking about what is the sex offender? That is the government. The sex offender that are the people of the state. The people of the state are prosecuted and identified as a single entity where this system is underway. 6LUM416. So it is, and by the way, it's 9:58 a.m. So you have what is understanding that, and the foolishness of that entity as they targeted, like I said, the wrong person. But I am the right person with regard to the necessity to reveal what is an entirely demented system of terrorism in the United States. And it's not just occurring in California. By virtue of the documentation revealing what the state is doing, the tactics that the state employs is telling on every other state. It's telling on every other body of government. And it is literally showing what is exclusive, okay? Because when you're stalking with a fake sun, you are telling on everyone else, because what's that in the sky in Memphis, Tennessee at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? Because I'm showing you what's, we'll take out the fake sun adjective. We'll take that out. I'm showing you what's supposedly the sun over me. That's not the sun, but I'm showing you what's a fake sun over me in the state of California. And it is not even reasonable to suggest that California is the only state that's doing that. No, or that other government bodies are ignorant about what the state of California is doing. No. That does not follow. But like I said, I'm letting the documentation speak for itself. It is telling on everyone else. Okay. And this is what is an unspoken system. But guess what? The demons don't have to speak about it. The government, the demons of the government in the state of California who are demon possessed, they don't have to speak about it. I've done it. I've put it on a megaphone. I have published it on the internet. It doesn't have to be spoken. It's been documented and published. Okay. Psychopaths can engage in maintaining silence while they're stalking under a fake sun and with directed light, because that demonic activity is yelling out the reality of their condition and the fact of their criminal conduct, which is stalking. And doing so in that manner is what is terrorism and sexually violent. They don't have to say a word. You won't have to say anything. Like I said, you don't have to know the specific identity of some group stalker. That's why the fake sun and directed light is present, for the criminal convenience of the demons who are surrounding you. That environment is speaking to the condition. It is mutual. There are no exceptions. And it is also speaking to what is a system, a comprehensive one. There's no exception to that. And it tells on everybody else. So like I said, it is currently 10 a.m. right now, 10 a.m. on the dot. That is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That would be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where the state is keeping a fake sun on what is now G Street and Fern, where I am, where as as you're listening to me break this down for you, what I'm documenting as I'm going, step by step, I'm moving quick because I'm dealing with a bunch of demons at the same time under what is an environment that the state also tries but fails. You can't conceal it. It's been documented for a term of years. I'm dealing with a demon that is operating over, you're talking about a demonic entity that has been engaging and literally providing the documentation, because you're talking about what is the intent to obstruct justice. So you're talking about years of documenting what is stalking with a fake sun, and you're engaging in conduct as though the center of the universe is in Ontario, California, all right, and doing so under what is clearly not the sun. This is a term of years of documenting this. And it doesn't change when the state then tries to cover up its fake sun. It's not a cloudy day. You need to understand this is demonic at its core. And the entity that is under this demon possession engages in ongoing obstruction of justice. But guess what? When you're stalking with something as incredible as what is not the sun, that is exclusive provision of documentation. And you are able to hold it to the standard of what would actually be the sun. And it is also exclusive with regard to what everybody else in the United States, and that is, again, the United States is not the center of the universe, but you're using this as understanding what is the bigger picture and an even bigger picture and an even bigger picture. Okay, there are levels to it. So like I said, you're understanding what the rest of the country is doing. The state can cover up its fake sun for a whole week. Because guess what? You're talking about what is supposed to be the sun. All right, so you're talking about what's supposed to be substantially, and that's why you're understanding the state's fake sun is remaining over 630 North Fern. It's moving in real time while I am in traffic, while I'm in a vehicle, moving in real time while I'm on foot, but yet it's maintaining stationary presence for the duration of an entire day where I am at one address. That's not the sun. And that is showing what is stalking with light in both circumstances. You are moving in order to maintain presence over me. You are following. You are remaining wherever it is I remain. You are remaining and stalking with a fake sun that is not remaining present over everyone's head. If you want to look at it as far as I'm not the target individual, that is not the experience of everyone else. Okay, while the state is keeping a fake sun over me at the Ovid Family Community Library, it is not remaining over the head of Tracy Banks while she is at Woodside Senior Apartments, for example. Okay, you're talking about what is the documentation of a targeted individual. Now, what the state is doing is it is monitoring American citizens. So the state has, in other words, when you are talking about understanding what is talking with the fake sun, now you're holding it to the standard of what is actually the sun. What is the state doing, though? The state has light sources. That is not the sun. That's how it's sunny in Northern California, because that's not the sun over them. That's how it's sunny and blazing hot in Nevada and Texas, because that's not the sun that's over them. That's how it's sunny and they're under a hovering light source in Memphis, Tennessee at the same time where the state is hovering over me with the fake sun as I go from Ontario to Fontana, because that's not the sun over them. That's how that happens. 8HLU894. That's how that happens. All right. And what coexists with that? The same thing that demon who I just identified by license plate is going to be dragged in federal court for terrorism. The directed light that moves all across. And that's also what I showed you in the video referencing November 17th again. On November 17th, I'm showing you what is the newscast while they're supposedly investigating this murder. And you're looking at what are traces of directed light inside of that video that was published on YouTube. They're in directed light they are under the fake sun, first of all, while they are speaking to what is an alleged investigation where the government is monitoring American citizens. What is ongoing is known amongst the entity. You're talking about what is public corruption. Operating as though it's ordinary, some random killing. We don't know. We're going to investigate. Let me be clear. The entity knows exactly what happened. The entity is engaging in what is a fictitious authority under the law. What the people of the state are doing, where the government is monitoring the people of the state are doing as the entity. All right. And so you were talking about what is lawlessness practiced amongst demons who are reporting the news, demons who are in law enforcement, demons who are engaging in a killing under the fake sun and indirect light. And in that newscast that was speaking about this killing of young Dolph on November 17, 2021, this newscast was published the next day on November 18, 2021. And directed light, as I pointed out, I published this and I posted the link to that YouTube video. Directed light is in the video. While they're talking about giving tribute to young Dolph, or we just want to celebrate his life, they're in directed light. So I just want to be clear with understanding demons. You're not dealing with normal human beings. You're dealing with Satan. Satan will deal with you with a smile on the face of that human being that Satan is using. Satan will deal with you rudely. Okay. It depends on however Satan wants to act under the circumstances. And most of the time, especially when Satan is trying to remain concealed, which is what Satan would like to do. Okay. Okay, Satan, you're talking about what is more powerful when you are remaining ignorant to it. There's no ignorance anymore. I'm revealing. How am I revealing about Satan? Because I'm revealing what is satanic. This is demonic activity. And that is how I am directly revealing what is puppets of Satan. They are puppets of Satan. The people of the state, they are puppets. The Ontario Police Department, they are puppets. And it's pathetic. It's sad. It's demoralizing. But these are puppets. And these are puppets that are in positions they have no business in. None. Okay? And you are witnessing puppets in directed light. Okay, literally, they are losing control. They have lost control. They are showing that I have told you what they are. I've documented it unilaterally, but you're talking about what are puppets that are losing control while they are showing you themselves. They're admitting it while they are molesting and crossing path in directed light. Understand, Satan is telling you about himself while they do so. That is impossible light activity, never occurring under, even if that was the actual sun. It's engineered light. That's abnormal light. That causes multiple shadows. You're talking about what is enlarged shadows of objects. And this is engineered light serving for systematic monitoring with communication devices. This demonic activity is centered on technology. All right. And that is where interstate stalking comes into play, because the government is monitoring, and the government is doing it in concert with the people of the state. And the government that is doing that is operating what is a satanic targeting system. And the government is doing that with the people of the state. That's what's going on in California. And that is not exclusive to California. Not exclusive whatsoever. All right. So like I said, it's currently 10:07 a.m. The entity engaging in ongoing stalking, knowing exactly where I am, and this is how pathetic the entity is. But that pathetic posture is going to be translated in federal court as what is terrorism, because the government has no business stalking in bathroom stalls. That's absolutely predatory, sexually motivated, demented, and terrorizing conduct of a stalker that is in the status of the government. And doing so through the people, which is entirely malicious and also equally demented. Those are demon-possessed stalkers that are stalking in a bathroom, maintaining surveillance of you while you're inside of a private space. That's exactly what they were doing at American Inn under the fake sun and indirect light. That's why it was filled inside of that room. Okay, you are engaging in what is inherently sexually violent also while you are molesting with that, which is not even sunlight, it's directed light. You're a sex offender. You're touching while you're stalking with an instrument of criminal conduct. These are all the ways in which the government is a sex offender, an egregious one never contemplated by federal legislation. This is necessary with regard to what is policy that I advocate, S.I.I.S, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering, understanding demonic activity and all the ways in which the demon-possessed are violent sex offenders. This is routine with regard to their satanic activity while they're engaging in criminal conduct. This is understanding the criminal conduct of the demon-possessed who are focused on monitoring with communication devices. This is the focus of, and this is just based on their pattern of conduct. What they are doing is dictating the pattern that they are repeatedly engaging in, and they are demons doing so. That's how you have identical behavioral patterns amongst people who in the natural, seemingly unrelated, right? Seemingly not knowing each other, engaging in identical conduct because they're demons. And they're also in a demonic environment. All right. So like I said, it's 10:08 a.m. and this is the P.O.C. 6BXG477. BM87603. This is a white Corvette with a paper plate on it. Stalking in the path, first of all, on Fern Avenue, but they are acting with the entity while they are patrolling. These are demons, okay? The people of the state are demon possessed and they are stalking altogether. And while they're driving on G Street, just like this demon 8KBY573 who crosses path on Fern, the state is aiming directed light, flashing directed light. The ridiculous pattern of conduct while I remain at 630 North Fern, and the state's fake sun is over here, by the way. So I just want to be clear. Woodside Senior Apartments, they're in relevant position. The commercial venue, the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine, they're monitoring. They're in relevant position. All of these residences over here in relevant position, they're all monitoring. And that's why the state is aiming direct light inside of this car. This is that pathetic entity that is demon possessed. They're stalking together. Okay. And they're all stalking somebody who's in a car. Well, they know it. Okay. Let me be clear. While you have what is the state sounding helicopter activity, let me get you. All right. I did hop out real quick because I wanted to capture video. First of all, the state is stalking by helicopter. That's the ongoing coexisting conduct of stalking with the sun, a fake sun, by the way. That is where the state is engaging in that, hovering in commercial airline planes, stalking with commercial airline planes, stalking by helicopter. Okay. That is the pattern of conduct. All right. I am showing you what is that aspect of the pattern of conduct, the stalking with a fake son. All right. The other aspect is that the entity is stalking with a fake son because the people of the state, not only are they demon possessed, they are stalking together. And so anyway, what I captured in video was the state stalking by helicopter, flying over Woodside Senior Apartments, flying over the Neighborhood Partnership, Housing Services Incorporated, the Mother's Nutrition. That is the address of 320 West G Street. Right here in front, adjacent to the Woodside Senior Apartment. This is where the state is stalking by helicopter. And the state, you see at that distance, the state was amplifying the sound of helicopter activity inside of the car. This is the ongoing pattern. I'm showing you all night long. I've shown you before the state flying over me in circles while I'm inside of this car. While you see what? Directed light. Okay? Directed light while I am outside showing you what is the United States Postal Service. Stalking, a demon stalking with light. Understand it's the same elements. You have demons that are stalking in the path, driving by in the white Corvette, whose license plate I recited. The next demon that then crosses path while directed light is again moving across the venue of 325 West G Street. This is the ongoing pattern. Crossing path with a flashlight is a demon stalking with light. Crossing path and touching with directed light, moving directed light across the surfaces, that is a demon stalking with light. Aiming directed light inside of a hotel room while the cockroaches, the people of the state, the demons that they are, patrol all around, maintain presence and on the property of the hotel and also around in traffic and the adjacent and surrounding properties. Those are demons stalking with light. That's why the directed light is inside of where I am at. That's why the fake sun is over me where I am at. Okay. So I did capture a video at 10:18 a.m. First of all, the state is stalking with a helicopter. That's a hallmark. The state is stalking with directed light, which is what I'm documenting on podcast. All right. And so I went out so you can see what is the fake sun that remains over 630 North Fern. Also, this is the ongoing documentation of what is the entity that immediately engages in. I showed you this yesterday. First of all, the state was flying over the hotel room at American Inn, 7:55 p.m., December 30th. Yesterday, December 31st. As you heard on my podcast, the state repeatedly flying over me by helicopter. This is not new. This is an ongoing pattern. This is terrorism by the government, who is stalking with a fake sun, stalking in concert with the people of the state. All of them are demons who know exactly who I am, know where I am. And this is pathetic while Satan is stalking me while I'm sleeping in a car. Okay. And guess what? Satan's going to pay for that. Okay, the demons who Satan is using, these are demons engaging in criminal conduct in the natural, based on what is their dangerous condition, the danger that they pose to society by the conduct, which is revealing them as psychopaths who are engaged in obsessive stalking of one person altogether with the government while they're monitoring, engaging in interstate stalking. That includes Southwest Airlines, the airplanes in the sky, the government stalking by helicopter. You're talking about the demons that are acting using commercial vehicles. This entity is going to pay for that because it's directly precipitating from this terrorism that I have been subject to for years. A direct threat to your life. Okay. The same exact entity threatening on the job, stalking on the job, keeping a fake sun over me on the job. Okay. This is the pattern of conduct that I remain subject to in the state's fake sun over 630 North Fern. That is for a series of hours. And again, as I'm showing you this video, as I've captured this video, that is to the exclusion of it remaining over American Inn. Like it is 24 hours ago, that's where the state is keeping its fake sun. And that's why I'm able to show you that while the state is remaining present. As I exit at 11 a.m., I show you before I exit the venue. And where do I go? Right next door to the Bank of America. And where's the state's fake sun? Right there over me at the Bank of America, which is separating American Inn with a brick wall. The state did not go anywhere with its fake sun. In the same way, the state is not going anywhere with its fake sun now, while you're also witnessing what? The state stalking by helicopter, the pattern of conduct. The people of the state are stalking as well. And those are indeed demons who are driving by, stalking with the government. That's demonic activity. It is also demonic while those demons drive by. That which is not sunlight, it's referred to as directed light, is streaming across through the car, onto the car, and onto the nearest surface, which is 325 West G Street. Those are demons. All right. And like I was stating, that demon in the white Corvette with the license plate, the paper license plate that I already cited. And the next demon that crosses path on Fern, listening to me document the previous demon, that psychopath crosses path to do the same thing that they're listening to me document the previous demon doing. That's the dangerous psychopath they're acting as an entity. You're going to prosecute for that. Okay. That's the same thing that Amazon Prime was doing, by the way, as they're listening to me say the name Amazon Prime that is already engaged in stalking and hiding around a corner, comes around from that corner and immediately is present. That's stalking conduct. and doing it under the fake sun, which, by the way, was on yesterday, moving down Euclid Avenue as I walked south down Euclid Avenue after going to the Rite Aid Plaza. I never came this far to what is 630 North Fern. I showed you from what is Laurel at G Street, what was the position from where I stood, which is 630 North Fern. This is the exclusivity of what is stalking with the fake sun, and it is also exclusive because the state is stalking with the fake sun, and so that is to the exclusion of everywhere else. There's no other sun. There's only one sun, right? And guess where it is? It's over me and remaining for a series of hours. As I showed you at 8:30 in the morning, it is still present here at 10:18 a.m. as I showed you on video, where the state is also stalking by helicopter. That's the ongoing P.O.C. That's revealing what is stalking with a fake sun. And those are demons that I continue to document. Those demons are going to be identified by their government names and prosecuted in federal court for the dangerous psychopaths that they are. That's a danger to society, the danger to the public that the people of the state of California pose. Now, that you're not prosecuting an individual, you're prosecuting an entity. They're going to be prosecuted as the danger that they are to the public, as they're engaging in the system in concert and on behalf of a government. Okay, that's literally what they're doing. And these are demons that are doing so. So it's 10:25 a.m. and that's what I captured. That's why I hopped out real quick to get that video. And it is 10:25 a.m. and the state's fake sun remains over 630 North Fern. Mutually exclusive to being anywhere over the the hotel room of 217, which is where I was at American Inn, where the state remains. Okay, that's P.O.C. Alrighty, I do remain at what is the outside of the venue that is located at 630 North Fern, where the state is keeping a fake sun. It's 11:07 a.m. The state's fake sun is over 630 North Fern. The state is also aiming what is stationary directed light, while the state is also aiming directed light inside of the car, while what are demons, this is their condition, the people of the state who are stalking, group stalking, and this is why the state moves directed light inside of the car, does so while also with simultaneity to their stalking conduct of crossing path. Okay, that's what you're doing when you are doing it either in a vehicle, on foot, whatever method of crossing the path. That's what group stalking is, and this is what demonic activity is. Demons that are surrounding all around you, and they are engaging in what is an ongoing ritualistic maintenance of particular elements. They are criminal elements while a interstate stalking is underway, and that's what the government is doing, and that's why the state is concentrating and keeping its fake sun over 630 North Fern, right where over this vehicle where I'm at, in direct conflict with being anywhere over me where I have already exited yesterday, the American Inn, and I'm in the parking lot of the Bank of America. The state's fake sun is directly over me, and you are witnessing as I document on my podcast and in video, the buildup of demons as more and more of them then enter into that parking lot, while the demon of FedEx is on the side street on the sidewalk right outside, on the outside of the parking lot, creating light activity using hazard lights. All right, that's the demonic behavioral pattern, stalking with methods of light activity. That's what the Ontario Police Department do using police vehicles. Okay, they're demons that are doing that. This is where I'm at 24 hours ago, and the state is keeping its fake sun over 630 North Fern. And what the entity is doing is aiming directed light inside of the car. This is flashing directed light that's across the windshield, and this is flashing directed light that's inside of the vehicle, moving it across the panel, where the steering wheel is, and across the what is the little compartment, the passenger side, the little compartment. You heard me close it right now. The state is aiming flashing radiant directed light inside of the vehicle, and does so also while it is monitoring what I'm documenting, and that are the facilitating venues. This is just speaking to the perimeter, because monitoring goes beyond the venues that are on Vine Avenue that I've already documented, where the entity stole my vehicle that was parked at near 714 North Vine Avenue. They're all monitoring. Okay, this is a massive system. There is an apartment complex that is also right across the street from the 7-Eleven located at 636 North Vine. They're all monitoring. That is why the state is keeping a fake sun. So understand, while the state engages in this documented criminal conduct of stalking with a fake sun, which is terrorism, it's doing so because the entity is paying very close attention to me. It is focused on me, and they are engaging in that hovering, stalking, and surveillance, and doing so with to someone who is in a vehicle. That's how it's both pathetic. All right, these are demons, and they are entirely pathetic. All right, but they are also, it's also criminal. So you're going to prosecute this pathetic conduct of stalking somebody. All right, and at that measure, with that level of determination. In such demented methods, all right, and doing so all together as the inferior demon-possessed psychopaths that they are, okay, and also they're violent sex offenders because they do the same thing, surveilling you and monitoring and engaging in this demonic conduct while you're in a private space and physically indisposed. That's a sex offender. So the state is doing this while I'm inside of the vehicle that is located at in front of 630 North Fern. The state's fake sun remains here. I would not be able to capture that if that was the actual sun 24 hours ago, where I'm at the Bank of America, which is adjacent to American Inn. That is mutually exclusive. The same position that I showed you at 8:30 a.m., the same position after I have left this venue, this location, went to Ontario Village Shopping Center, went to the B&G Plaza, even showed you while I'm in motion, the state moving its fake sun rapidly to remain in perfect alignment with me through the window of the car. And I return back to this location at 630 North Front. State remains with its fake sun, where it's also stalking with what is directed light across the venue that is located at 325 West G Street. That's a venue. All right. Across the vehicle on the windshield, on the inside of the dash. Okay. Moving it across, you have stationary light on the floor. This is absolutely impossible light. If that's the sun that's over the American Inn. Let's even go back further. If that's the sun that's over 280 North Lemon Apartments, where I'm already present inside of that venue, showing you the fake sun as I am at the back of the library facing the University of LORRAINE College of Law. That's not the sun. That's the state's fake sun. That's the state's fake sun that's over the vehicle. That is also not sunlight, because that's not sunlight that's going to result if that's the sun over the Ovid Family Community Library entrance, over that 280 North Lemon Apartments while I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library. If that's the sun that's over the B&G Plaza as I am facing south, showing you how Southwest American Airlines and Frontier Airlines and Delta Airlines, FedEx and UPS Airlines are hovering underneath that fake sun while I'm facing south, which is in the opposite direction of where the state's fake sun is right now. That's not light activity that's going to ever occur. It's reaching into the depths of the car. I'm speaking of the stationary directed light that's on the floor panels on the passenger side, precise to where I am, and also directed light across the windshield, across the dashboard inside of the car while demons drive by. It's the exact same pattern of conduct that you saw while I'm under the fake sun at the intersection of Euclid and G Street yesterday after 12 p.m. in direct conflict with all of the aforesaid locations that I just mentioned. That's not possible with being, as you saw, it's not even approached the location or being possible. As I also showed you while I was at C Street, it's nowhere near the 280 North Lemon Apartments. That's not the sun. Okay, it's remaining over me. And you have what is also directed light across the Mission furniture store at the intersection of G Street and Euclid. As I showed you while demons were driving by, that's what the state is doing inside of the car. All right, so you have already witnessed this. I'm documenting this and I'm documenting my location. The entire entity is paying close attention to me. That's why it's stalking with the fake sun. Doing so in such an incredible manner is speaking to the level of determination and speaking to the level of demented. All right, that's a very unfathomable level of a demented actor. It is also revealing what's not present, could not possibly be present, because I'm showing you what's the sun. There's only one sun. All right, so obviously you know this is not the sun, but you're also witnessing what is the ability to prosecute the government that is monitoring American citizens in the U.S. The state is keeping the fake sun as it is 11:13 a.m. right now over 630 North Fern and aiming that which is not sunlight inside of a vehicle where this entity knows very well I'm located. And also let me bring something else into the equation, which is never forgotten. While this entity that is acting vicariously on behalf of the government, that entity includes the third party whose name I know, which is Tracy Banks, who is presently stalking in relevant position at a facilitating venue inside of Woodside Senior Apartments. And that is a psychopath, equally of the same demented condition, who is monitoring her own daughter while she is aware and in real-time knowledge, okay, engaging in the same exact monitoring with a communication device while the state hovers over me in her vehicle outside of 630 North Fern with the fake sun and aiming directed light. That's the reality of Tracy Banks. That's her condition. That is speaking to what is an entirely dangerous psychopath who has yet to be prosecuted under what is her genuine form. Okay, she doesn't have any form with regard to what is a mother. I am documenting and prosecuting a malicious system, and the system is facilitated by actors such as Tracy Banks. This is a demon-possessed stalker who is monitoring and listening to every syllable, including the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department. They're all one entity monitoring together, and this is all that is encompassed within stalking with the fake sun, stalking by helicopters, stalking by law enforcement, engaging in stalking by the people of the state that is aiming that which is not sunlight into the location where I'm at, which is a vehicle, which is entirely pathetic, but it is speaking to the concentrated, concerted efforts of an entire government, an entity, and a people. And I'm speaking to what are facilitating venues of 403 West G Street, 325 West G Street, Woodside Senior Apartments located at 408 West G Street, the 7-Eleven located at 636 North Vine, the Tabor Professional Building, which is right here at 320 West G Street. That's just speaking to the perimeter of where I'm at. Okay, I'm on Fern and G, and let me be clear, the entire entity that's in relevant position, this spans a radius, is monitoring. And that's why the state is aiming that directed light, concentrating directed light inside of the car, doing so while it's monitoring my documentation. And what I'm doing is I'm documenting the entirety of that entity who are going to be snatched from what is all in relevant position and prosecuted for that. There's no legal argument. The government is maintaining presence through the people. All you have to do is document, and you're going to systematically prosecute what is the government's presence vicariously through whatever address, through whatever name that demon goes by, okay, because you're dealing with demonic activity. And so it is currently 11:16 a.m. I just want to document that on my podcast, and I have already included this, which is I've yet to publish for today, the on my website, all of the video documentation and the images, and with regard to the identification of my location where I'm at. And I'm speaking to that, and I'm publishing it. I'm publishing deliberately what is the totality of that documentation, and it includes the fact that a psychopath, a demon-possessed stalker going by the name of Tracy Banks, is monitoring her own daughter while she is sitting inside of the facilitating venue and keeping me in a car because I heavily documented the fact that she is a demon-possessed stalker, monitoring with the government and the people of the state while I was inside of her facilitating venue of Woodside Senior Apartments, where the state was then at that time keeping the fake sun over the apartment, which I also directly above my head in the apartment, at apartment 51, which I also documented on video. Okay, that's the reality of what she is, what her condition is, what her issue is, what's wrong with her, the danger that she poses, while I am aware of it and am documenting it, and necessarily so, because it's a state system and you have to be subject to it in order to document it. It is that which is designed at the outset to never be confronted or exposed. And I'm slicing all through that. I'm going to show you what is the threat that is an unlawful threat posed by the government and the people, and it doesn't matter what that demon's name is. And that psychopath is listening to me right now, and that's exactly why I'm going to prosecute you, Tracy Banks. Okay, it's 11:17 a.m. State's fake sun remains over 630 North Fern, aiming directed light all throughout the car. This is documentation of what is terrorism, all right? And it is terrorism also. Understand, while the people of the state engage in the P.O.C., third parties whose name you know, who are in your lives, who are monitoring you unbeknownst to you, and then continue to do so as a psychopath does, a danger to you, while they conduct themselves outwardly as though they're doing, this is what the police do, this is what third parties do, like they're oblivious to it, disregarding, acting like it's not happening. That's terrorism while they do that, okay? That is a psychopath, a very dangerous one, and a violent sex offender. All right, it is currently 11:18 a.m., and this is P.O.C. All right, it is currently 1:14 p.m., and I did just capture video of what is literally the light source, which is not the sun. This is the state's fake sun that's remaining over me. It is precisely over the vehicle, and that's why I am sitting in the car, and I'm showing you what is light that is being directed. This is the state's engineered light that fills the car. Remaining, that's the stationary light that I was referencing. And the state's fake sun is directly over the car, and I am still at the location of 630 North Fern Avenue. Not only is that showing what is stalking with what is a fake sun, it is also in conflict with where I'm showing you the state's fake sun and all of the movement that I engaged in. First of all, this morning, leaving from this location, returning to this location, and then in conflict with that ongoing documentation that already exists, which is the state at the same time, because you are using what is supposedly the sun, and so I am showing you what is not the sun, because you have what is that mutual maintaining what is central presence over my head while I'm in an entirely different location. That is necessarily movement, and that is also remaining with a light source, that which is hovering over me, maintaining central presence over me, and remaining wherever it is that I remain. And so as I go to the Ontario Shopping Center, as I go to the B&G Plaza, and I'm showing you the real-time movement of that fake sun as I return to what is 630 North Fern inside of the vehicle, this is at 1:13 p.m. I'm showing you what is the remaining of that which is not possibly the sun that is remaining over the same street, as I captured it at 10:18 a.m., but I showed you this at 8:30 a.m. And again, this is this is Pacific Standard Time. You are understanding with regard to the larger picture, what is relevant to Central Standard Time, and Eastern Standard Time. And because the state is stalking with that which is not the sun, you are understanding and holding the state to that standard of what is not the sun and revealing the criminal conduct and the terrorism that the state of California and the people of the state of California are engaging in, while it is keeping a hovering light source over me. And that is exclusive to any other state, any other city, that is, because I'm literally remaining on the same street. And the state has kept its fake sun as of record, as I just captured again in video, at 1:13 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is literally over the vehicle on the same portion of the street directly above me. All right. And this is 1:13 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is not the sun. That is stalking with what is a fake sun. That is stalking with a fake sun while you are monitoring the documentation that an American citizen is maintaining and gathering to prosecute and reveal that which the government is engaging in, which is terrorism. And that is terrorizing in and of itself, that the government engages in that determined criminal effort and stalking conduct with an entire entity that are represented by the people of the state of California. And so at 1:13 p.m. when I'm showing you this video, you're going to remember 24 hours ago, let alone the ongoing documentation that already pre-exists. Remember, at 1:13 p.m., I enter the Ovid Family Community Library, typically at 10 o'clock in the morning. I enter the Fontana Lewis Library at around the same time. I have been in transit at this time, where the state is moving this light source and remaining it and moving it in real time, while keeping it in the same position where I am stationary, and keeping it in that same position while I am in movement in transit. And that is what is revealing what is stalking with that which is not the sun, stalking in concert with the people of the state. And stalking with light is entirely demonic. That is terrorism that is practiced by a government that is of what is demon possession. This is stalking with the people of the state who are equally demon possessed. That is why directed light coexists with their crossing of path conduct, which is stalking, group stalking. All right. And you have what I captured in video. Again, the relevant context, the bigger picture, looking at it at that macro level is relevant to what is the time. And so capturing video of what is not the sun, that is, and holding it to that standard and analyzing it based upon that. This is unprecedented and unfathomable criminal conduct. And you're going to prosecute it and you're going to understand what is, first of all, this is not the sun that's remaining, over the same street, remaining over a single person. You have what are demons that are crossing path, walking by, and the state's fake sun is remaining stationary over this portion of the street. That is to the exclusion of everyone else who is moving all around, driving by, walking by, and the state's fake sun is not remaining over their head. It is not maintaining ubiquitous presence. It is not at the same time over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, over the Fontana Lewis Library, in the buses of the Omnitrans while they are en route in every direction. This is maintaining specific presence over me. That is understanding what is targeting by an entire entity, the government. That is the domestic enemy that is terrorizing an American citizen who is documenting it. Okay. And so you have yesterday, for example, I was documenting the demon possessed actor, the commercial actor. They are demon possessed. Amazon Prime, a company, engaging in terrorizing and monitoring, sexually violating, surveilling, stalking, engaging in also monitoring, engaging in that same conduct while inside of the private space. That's what Amazon Prime was doing while I've been inside of hotel rooms such as American Inn, as I documented it, stalking in the path, creeping around on dark streets while I'm being molested with directed light, while the state is filling that room with directed light 24 hours a day. And yesterday, as I am showing you in video, prior to 1:25 p.m., I have crossed the street of Euclid Avenue after I have already walked south down Euclid Avenue, and you clearly see the state keeping a fake sun over me as I have removed myself totally from this location altogether. But again, it's not just yesterday that's showing you what is a fake sun. The totality of that documentation has revealed what is stalking with a fake sun. I'm prosecuting, and I'm showing you what the United States is engaging in. The government is monitoring American citizens. And so at 1:25 p.m., I have crossed the street of Euclid Avenue, and I am showing you what is the state's fake sun that is directly over my head. And you see that distinct movement of that fake sun as I am now on the opposite side of the street where I previously captured in the video Amazon Prime stalking in the path, as I had mentioned their name, where they were stalking with the Amazon Prime third party who was at Metro 102 using their hazard lights, which is the creation of light activity while a fake sun is over my head. I'm being molested with directed light. That is a method of a third party using a commercial means to engage in stalking and terrorism. Stalking with that light activity is terrorism because the entire entity engages in that conduct everywhere that you go, pursuant to what you are doing as you are doing it. They are demons engaging in that conduct under what is a hovering light source during the day, and while I am constantly molested with and followed with directed light at night. It is 24 hours a day. This is the stalking with light by the demon possessed, doing so via commercial means. Okay. And so while I am showing this video, I'm capturing this video yesterday at 1:25 p.m. I have already captured the demons that are represented by Amazon Prime. They represent the entity, which are the people of the state, acting on behalf of the government that's operating this targeting system. That is mutually exclusive. That is impossible. Not only, first of all, is it impossible for the actual sun to remain over one person, all right, and maintain that presence over a specific portion of the street, which is what I have shown again today, where it's remaining over me at 630 North Fern. It's directly over the car. Directed light is inside of the car. But also it is impossible to coexist with being over me while at the same time I have already traveled south down Euclid Avenue. The state's fake sun had not even been to Holt Boulevard, as I showed you, because I had not been to that direction. The state was keeping its fake sun over me. Today, early in the morning, I have already left this venue of 630 North Fern. I've gone to Holt Boulevard, went to the Ontario Village Shopping Center, went to the B&G Plaza, and then returned to this location identified at 630 North Fern, and the state followed with its fake sun, and the state has remained. You're talking about as a video for you to see with your own eyes, 8:30 in the morning until right now, again, well, it's 1:22 p.m. where the state remains, but I showed you in video 1:13 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is directly relevant to what is going on in the pursuant to the region of the country in Central Standard Time, okay, and specific and is applicable, is directly relevant to the rest of the country that is under what is Eastern Standard Time, because the state is stalking with that which is not the sun. That is revealing what the state of California and what the people of the state of California are doing, and that is the ongoing big picture and the relevance and the probative value of that documentation of stalking with what is not the sun, possibly and under any circumstances remaining over me, let alone remaining over a single address for a series of hours. Okay. In addition to what I'm documenting on podcasts, where you're listening to the demons who are prosecuting themselves as they're crossing path, the state is stalking with a helicopter and also aiming directed light inside of the car and moving it across the venue of what is 325 West G Street. That's the pattern of conduct. And it is literally impossible. So this is what I captured on video. I just want to publish this on my podcast. This is documentation that I have yet to, in its totality, publish fully onto YouTube and onto my website. Believe me, that is coming. But I'm on my podcast in real time. This is everything that I have documented. And let me be clear, as I show you this, I am documenting and revealing, as I have already shown, this is the ongoing prosecution. The Ontario Police Department, they literally prosecute themselves, as I have already exposed what is the system. So you are witnessing what are dangerous psychopaths. They pose a threat to the public. While they are demons, closeted psychopaths, not closeted anymore, because while they are demons in those uniforms, they are under a fake sun and they are stalking me. That is the exclusive revealing of what they are engaged in. That is how exclusive it is. And it is also exclusive with regard to the rest of the country. Okay, while they do so under a fake sun, using their vehicles, using their uniforms, using their positions, their identity to engage in not only what is terrorism by virtue of their identity as law enforcement engaging in federal stalking, which is that which is unlawful under the language of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, inherently intended to intimidate, to harass, and to injure. The Ontario Police Department have engaged in all of the above, including kidnapping and theft of property, assault and battery, trespass to property. They have done all of the above. Engaging in federal stalking, being a demon-possessed stalker, engaging in that system is that which is inherently designed to intimidate and harass and injure. And that is under the existing language of Title 18. This is documentation of including every actor, including third parties such as Southwest Airlines, Amazon Prime, UPS, FedEx, all of whom I have documented, and that's just yesterday, but I have documented this before. All right, so this is serving what is an ongoing revealing of, first of all, the demon-possessed, who are engaged in interstate stalking. All right, the demon-possessed are engaged in violation of the law that exists on the books. They are also engaged in that which is never contemplated by federal policy, and that, again, is what I have designed as I am revealing what is demonic activity, and you are understanding what is an entirely malicious system in ceaseless operation here in the state of California. Okay. And that is, again, S.I.I.S. for federal policy, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering, which is exactly what the people of the state are doing, which is exactly what the government, the state of California, a domestic enemy that is monitoring an American citizen, that is of the condition which is terrorizing and a threat to your life, monitoring and stalking with an entire entity that is identified as the people of the state while they are stalking, engaging in what is interstate stalking. All right. That is all that is revealed by virtue of my documentation that I just captured again on video at 1:13 p.m., where the state's fake sun is clearly over the vehicle, remaining over this street while I am at 630 North Fern Avenue in direct conflict with common sense and nature and science, okay? And it is to the exclusion of every other state in the United States, because by virtue of the fact that you are stalking with that which is not the sun, all right? And that is P.O.C. All right, it is currently 2:53 p.m. and I'm going to explain what I documented. First of all, I documented video of what is a specific timestamp just for purposes of illustration. The state is remaining over me with that which is not the sun, period. State is stalking with a fake sun. And so to illustrate that point, at 2:47 p.m. where I was this morning, where I captured video of the state's fake sun hovering over the venue that is 630 North Fern. I leave the venue, I return, and the state's fake sun is in the same position over 630 North Fern, and the state has remained. It's 2:47 p.m. where I capture video of what is directed light inside of the car. What follows is, first of all, this is not the sun, and secondly, that's not sunlight that is inside of the vehicle. That is the terrorizing conduct of the entity that is stalking and molesting with directed light. That is what the state is aiming inside of the vehicle for purposes of what is monitoring. This is also demonic, okay? While the state surrounds with this engineered light and does so with simultaneity while it cycles directed light through this vehicle and on the surfaces around, while the demons that are the people of the state, who you also see in the second video that I captured at 2:51 p.m., crossing path in the red vehicle, and I recite that license plate. That is a demon-possessed group stalker who is monitoring me as they are driving by under the fake sun with knowledge of who I am, where I am, and in operation of my communication device. That is the state stalking conduct that I captured on video. This is how you are systematically monitoring, and this is what the people of the state are doing on a constant basis. And this is a picture of what is literally a light source that is not possibly the sun, as it is remaining over a single street for a series of hours, as I remained since I returned at 9:04 a.m. I'm showing you the state's fake sun at the B&G Plaza, and then I returned to 630 North Fern, and I capture the video of what is the state stalking by helicopter in relevant position, and I get out to show you what's the state's fake sun, and this is after 10 a.m., and this is the state's fake sun that remains over the street. I want to be clear, the state is not going anywhere. That is the pattern that you are looking at, where the state engages in rising a fake sun where I am, and then abysmally failing at acting like it is the sun, and then engaging in an incremental migration, which is to the right, which is supposed to be the west of wherever it is that I am, while it remains over for, in this instance, the street, while it remains over for example, while I'm at Economy Inn, that parking lot, that hotel room that I was inside of, where the state remained over that property for the duration of the day. Where I'm at Economy Inn, where I'm at what is Woodside Senior Apartments, where the state kept its fake sun over what is the left side of that apartment building, and then setting it on the right side of that apartment building, which Woodside Senior Apartments is across the street, and my documentation showing in the middle of the day the state's fake sun directly over my head as I step out to capture that video of what is the state's light source maintaining that central presence in the middle of the day. And this is what I pointed out, which is the pattern, the state engaging in this incremental movement where it's not going anywhere, it's remaining in direct conflict with what would ever be the sun under any circumstances anyway. And then you also have what is the engineered light that complements what is that documentation showing what is, first of all, a fake sun, a hovering light source remaining and then following, because if I were to get up and leave from this location, the state is again then moving that fake sun wherever I am. So that's what you're looking at. It's not going anywhere, and you are looking at what is remaining over a single street, which is again showing the exclusivity of that analysis of what is stalking with the fake sun, of what is stalking with directed light, as I also show on the gate. And so I want to break down what I did. I captured that video at 2:47 p.m. And it is I captured a second video because what I did was, when I'm showing you the directed light in the car and then I step out and I show you the fake sun, the screen immediately goes white. That's because the light hit the camera lens. And so I captured that video. My audio is still captured, and I am aiming it on what is the light source. I reviewed that video and I see that it's whitened. And so I captured a second video because I want you to see the literal object itself that is remaining over the street. And the state is engaging in that pattern of acting as though that's the sun, even though, understand, it's not acting like the sun, because the sun is not remaining over a single street, over a person, while also the sun is not shooting out what is directed light. The sun is not resulting in what is light that just manifests in the shade, and what is supposed to be just appearing out of nowhere, also shooting through any location where I'm at, across my person, and onto the surfaces all around me. That is the ongoing cumulative value of what is documenting a fake sun, which the state of California is engaging in, as it is systematically monitoring American citizens, and it is monitoring me in concert with the people of the state, who you see stalking in that video. That is documentation of what is group stalking, and that is the ongoing value of all of the documentation, as I have documented thousands of third parties in the state of California engaging in the system on behalf of the government. I have, in that regard, documented the government engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is a satanic targeting system. And so that's what I captured in the second video. I'm going to publish both of them because the audio is equally valuable. And you see what is also documentation of what is directed light. That's equally valuable. My documentation is also not only showing stalking with a fake sun, the entity is stalking with directed light, molesting with directed light, which is relevant to what is the terrorism and the sex offender that is the state of California. And that's why I'm keeping both videos. And so in the second video, you can see the object itself, which remains. All right. And this is clearly not the sun. And I'm also reminding you that this is relative to what is the rest of the nation, the United States, where you are stalking with a fake sun. That is to the exclusion while it's remaining over me, over a single street, in a single city, in a single county. That is to the exclusion of the rest of California. That's to the exclusion of the rest of the county, where I'm showing you the fake sun that's over me at 630 North Fern. That is not any sun that is over in any other state. It's not present in the state of Nevada. It's not present over the sky space in Nevada. It's not present over Texas. It is remaining here. And that is by virtue of the state engaging in stalking with a fake sun, that is the prosecution of the government. But it is also revealing what the rest of the country is engaging in. Okay. And so you are understanding that as I have documented that again. And that's what I captured at 2:47 p.m. And again, what is that contrast that I drew? At 2:47 p.m. I arrived at, and this is just for illustration, I arrived at Motel 6 at 1560 East 4th Street. License 6MNY130. That's another demon stalking in the path. All right, while they're listening to me document, minions are patrolling by, just like you saw the minion in the video. They're stalking, okay? And the state is aiming direct the light. So at 2:47 p.m., you have what is the state aiming its fake sun over me while I'm at the B&G Plaza. And I am facing, that was yesterday. So I'm going to start at the outset. On December 25th, as I arrive at the Motel 6 at 2:47 p.m., the state's fake sun is over that venue. The state is aiming directed light inside of that car. You see the object itself over the property of the Motel 6. In the morning, the next morning, which was December 26th, I showed you that's clearly not the sun. It's over the same property, and it's 8:48, 8:49 in the morning while the state was aiming directed light inside of that hotel room. Yesterday, which was December 31st, 2021, I showed you another illustration of understanding what is the central maintenance of that which is not the sun over my head while I'm at a completely different location at what is the B&G Plaza. And so at 2:47 p.m., I'm at the B&G Plaza after I have come from American Inn, and the state had kept its fake sun as I traveled to the B&G Plaza in the afternoon, where, by the way, I was this morning after 8:30 in the morning in the state, and that is documentation showing what is the fake sun over that location in the afternoon, following me, remaining over me there, and this morning following from where I start, 630 North Front, which is the pattern, and then remaining over me as I go to the B&G Plaza, which I capture on video at 9:04. Okay, so like I said, with regard to right now, what I captured that video at 2:47 p.m., the state kept its fake sun over that Motel 6. Yesterday at 2:47 p.m., the state had followed from American Inn as I walked to the B&G Plaza, and the state's fake sun is present at that venue. I am at 630 North Fern, on the street of Fern, at the at the intersection of Fern and G Street, where the state is keeping a fake sun over, and this is the significance of that at 2:47 p.m. and that does not coexist. Understand that is that which is exclusive to being, if that was the actual sun, that is not over the Motel 6. And that's going to be the actual sun, and that's the ongoing comparison that you're going to draw. If that was actually the sun, it is not over Motel 6. That's the state's fake sun that is over the Motel 6, and it is also aiming directed light inside of that vehicle while I am parked at the property facing that lobby, and I'm documenting what is group stalking at that venue, and that is also what I'm showing. And so that's why I stepped out right now and showing you what is the remaining of a fake sun on a street over me, while directed light is also what you see just manifesting in the shade. That's the pattern. That's entirely terrorizing conduct while the state is literally stalking. You see the stalker personified through the stalking with directed light. You see the demonic activity as it is made manifest while the state stalks with engineered light, molests with engineered light, and does so through the demon-possessed third parties that are the people of the state, who you see in video crossing path while directed light is all around. Directed light is in the car and the fake sun is over my head. And directed light is moving across the buildings while demons are also driving on G Street. That venue is 325 West G Street, as I referenced it on video. This is what they are ceaselessly engaging in, the demon possessed. This is the ongoing pattern of conduct that I have also already captured everywhere that I am at in hundreds of videos that are already published. This is revealing both demonic activity, and that is prosecuted as what is terrorism by a government and a people, the people of the state of California, where the state, and that is why the state is keeping that which is not the sun, and that is that direct evidence of monitoring by the government, and that is to the exclusion of what is the rest of the country under Central Standard Time and Eastern Standard Time, because I have documentation of what is supposedly the sun. This is not the sun that's remaining, first of all, over a street. This is 2:47 p.m. I'm capturing this at 8:30 in the morning, after the state deviated from being here and then returning to being here as I return, and remains where I remain. That is, by definition, stalking, and it is stalking with light, which is demonic. That is the terrorism that the state of California is engaging in. It's 3:03 p.m., and that is the P.O.C. Those are this is video documentation that shall be published onto my YouTube channel and onto my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. It is currently 3:03 p.m. All right, I did capture video at 4:27 p.m. and I'm showing you, first of all, what is directed light that remains inside of the vehicle. And what is the state doing? This is the pattern, first of all, of remaining where I remain with a fake sun, and doing so since I showed you on video at 8:30 in the morning, where I remain at the vehicle at 630 North Fern. I travel away and I return to this location, which is a facilitating venue, which is essentially the location where the state remained all day long for the duration of an entire day, to the exclusion of any other place in the United States, while the state is stalking with that which is not the sun. And that is how it applies to the rest of the country. Okay. And then again, it goes to the next level, which is showing what the state is doing, because the United States is not the center of the universe, like I continue to point out. Because the state is stalking with a fake sun, and that is to the exclusion of every other location. And where I am at 630 North Fern, you are seeing what are the demon possessed, the third parties that are the people of the state who are stalking in the path. That's what group stalking is. And as they cross path, it creates light activity inside of the car while the state is aiming what is directed light, engineered light inside of this vehicle, while you are looking at what is the fake sun that remains in perfect alignment with me, where I'm inside of the vehicle at 630 North Fern in the exact same location, where the state is aiming this fake sun, which has this uncanny ability, like I showed you yesterday, to maintain perfect alignment with me, maintaining visible presence and alignment with me while I am both in transit yesterday, as I'm showing you, after leaving the B&G Plaza, where, by the way, where I remain today, the state is nowhere in the location, or even in the directions in the opposite direction, where the B&G Plaza is on Hope Boulevard, where I went this morning, and the state's fake sun was in the same location. And by the way, where I'm showing you that video at 9:04 a.m. at the B&G Plaza, this location at 630 North Fern is in the total opposite direction. In that video, I am facing what is south while I'm in the car, showing you what is the B&G Plaza while I'm in the parking lot, and the state's fake sun is right in front of me through the windshield. This is the entirely opposite direction where the state remained for the duration of the day, and is remaining today as it is in alignment with me, where I am remaining stationary at 630 North Fern. That is directed light inside of the car. That is a fake sun that is remaining visible. Those are the demon possessed. Those are third parties, and you are witnessing what is the stalking activity by the people. That is the government that is stalking in the place of third parties who are crossing path, creating light activity while they do so, with knowledge of who I am and where I am. That is also what is revealed, where you are stalking with directed light and a fake sun. All right. This is the same admission that the people of the state who are vicariously acting on behalf of that government, where they are molesting with simultaneous crossing of path conduct, where directed light is appearing as they drive by. All right. Where this fake sun is over my head, where this is occurring as well. That is the ongoing pattern of conduct. And that's what I captured on video. That is the impossibility of that being the sun as well. This is P.O.C. It's 4:32 p.m. All right, capturing video at 4:37 p.m. And this is while driving what is west on G Street into the city of Montclair, after remaining stationary in one location all day long, and the maintenance of what is a fake sun over my head and in alignment with me, still visible while I remain inside of the same vehicle. Immediately moving on in transit, you have what is the state moving that fake sun, which is necessarily occurring. And also, as I'm showing you this video at 4:37 of the state's fake sun in movement while traveling west on G Street, capturing what is the intersection of Benson and G Street. That is a location that is not going to be visible over the 403 West G Street address. That is not going to be visible while on the Omnitrans bus, for example, maintaining the uncanny ability to maintain visible alignment with me while the state is covering services that is stalking with light. While the people of the state, such as 8UOR 800, cross path, simultaneously creating light activity while they do so. That is why you are stalking with a fake sun and with directed light. It is the engagement in the elements by an entity. All right. And traveling up what is now Central Avenue, the state is covering all the properties of the buildings with directed light. None of this is going to occur. I'm showing you what is the state's fake sun that is in movement necessarily in order to remain visible through the windows and the doors of the Omnitrans bus while I'm traveling in the opposite direction, which is not on the same street either. That's San Bernardino Avenue. And that is the maintenance of alignment with me while I'm both stationary and while in motion. And that's what I'm showing while I am yesterday showing what is the fake sun after remaining over me at the B&G Plaza. All right. This is all manner of movement everywhere that I go. It is the same conduct as the state keeps the fake sun directly above my head. This is what the state is doing, as it is merely changing the color of this light source, covering the surfaces all around with that which is engineered light, while the demons that are the people of the state cross path. That's what the state was doing inside of the car. So while in motion, the state covers all the surfaces that are buildings, the grounds, and the sidewalk, which is not sunlight, it's directed light, while the people of the state are systematically pacing all around you. It is a stalking conduct by the government itself, acting in concert with the people of the state. 8KQG285. And it's demonic. All right. And that is the mutually exclusive positioning, as I'm showing you yesterday and I'm showing you today. And you're looking at the time frame of what is the state is feigning some setting of some sun that was remaining in alignment with me while covering surfaces with that which is directed light and not sunlight. All right. It is currently 4:42 p.m. and that's what I captured on video, and I will be publishing that. That's P.O.C. (8VGX240), 8SIW877, 7PNV505, 8FFH749, I believe. At Montclair Place, where the state's fake sun followed us, she drives up Central to get to Montclair Place, where the state's fake sun is, where the state is covering the grounds of the venue with directed light. This entire venue, as I've already documented before, and is in conformity to the pattern of conduct, is monitoring. All right. It is 4:43 p.m. All right, the entity waiting until I get out of Tracy Banks's car, license 4WON432, to fly over by helicopter inside of the parking lot where the state's fake sun is present. I took a picture of that. You can see it beside the JCPenney. Took a picture of what are the mountains. The state's covering it with directed light, covering over the El Pollo Loco, all the buildings across the street. This is covering with directed light, just like I showed you when I went to what is Glendora. Okay, and the state's fake sun after I exit the Coffee Bean, and I showed you Foothill Transit. They were stalking with hazard lights on. Showed you that on video. The state's fake sun aiming inside of that Coffee Bean when I'm in Glendora, and I showed you what was directed light covering those mountains. Understand that's exactly what the state is doing, as it followed from, by the way, what is 630 North Fern with the fake sun, stalking inside of their vehicle while the state flies over me in helicopter. A group stalker in the parking lot, 89636G3, under the fake sun and in directed light at Montclair Place. 8BSR150, 7NTZ672, 8UBN022, 8DQG779, 7DKN306, FNSCA16, 8RQB620, 6BRU581, 8YIS584, 7WLN451, 5ETS270, 12415K2, CARCOBA, 8LZD475, 7DBU615, 7YWU903, 8SWE315, 7HCX589, 5SVS507, 8TVG308, 8GYG214, 913HT handicap, 8LCR205, 6ZRW110, 67212 handicap, 8SDC395 crossing path, 8WES552, 8YZY237. This is P.O.C. at Montclair Place, where the state followed with its fake sun as I captured in a still image. You can see that it is right there, cozy next to the JCP. You're not going to see that while I'm on the bus at on San Bernardino Avenue, where the state was falling with its fake sun, 4FRA 947. And let me be clear: not only is that the elements of group stalking, that is the ongoing evidence of stalking with a fake sun. That's what the state does in concert with stalking with light, 8JFR 576. That is also terrorism by the people of the state who are demons and hostile to the fact that I've documented this venue and that I'm documenting them now. They're engaging in terrorism together. Crossing path, 6PHY 153. 8TFV 985, I believe. I can't really see that one. And Tracy Banks, the coward that she is, hops out of her car and continues walking while she is monitoring me as well, and knows very well that the state is waiting to fly over me by helicopter. That is the demon-possessed actor that she is. That's the reality of what she is and the threat that she represents. She's terrorizing with the rest of these demons who I identify by license plate. This is the venue of what is Montclair Place, and this is P.O.C. Every single last one of them working here, present here, on surveillance cameras here, engaging in what is the pattern of conduct in concert and on behalf of the state. And that is why the fake sun is here, and that is also why the state flew over me by helicopter, which is the pattern of conduct. It's 4:54 p.m. I will be publishing that video onto my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com, and onto my YouTube channel, which is called The Pattern of Conduct, by the way. It is, again, 4:54 p.m. at Montclair Place, P.O.C. Alrighty, what I'm showing inside of Montclair Place, this is called relevant positioning, and this is the government that is maintaining presence all around, and you're also looking at what is stalking in plain sight by the government. That is the people of the state who are monitoring with that entity that just flew over me by helicopter. This is the ongoing stalking conduct by who are also, their condition is demon possession, and this is a demonic targeting system, and you have, including the third party who drove me here, monitoring with the rest of the demons that they are, with communication devices. This is stalking, and it is interstate stalking, and it is by what is a demon-possessed entity that, again, flew directly over the Montclair Place Mall, and there is no form for that. It is currently 5:02 p.m., and I'm taking pictures of what is the criminal element of relevant positioning. Allied Universal is here as well. I want to document that. And the state is engaging in ongoing activity creation while they surround with communication devices, monitoring as one entity on behalf of the government. All right, that is P.O.C. It's 5:02 p.m. Alrighty, what you're witnessing is the maintenance of relevant positioning and activity inside of the bathroom and monitoring with communication devices while they are stalking in the path on behalf of the state. It's currently 5:36 p.m. and that is filling the bathroom, which is a private space at the venue of what is the Montclair Place. While minions are intentionally entering, understand they're including children and what is that sexually violent conduct on behalf of the government, with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented, and they are all in directed light. That is speaking to, first of all, what are demons. That is speaking to also what is knowledge of who I am. In engineered light inside of the private space is direct evidence of being a sex offender as well. They are maintaining noise, maintaining relevant positioning, and maintaining light activity. And that is 5:36 p.m. I'm capturing images and video. That is the women's restroom where I'm in. You have relevant positioning outside in the hallway. They're on surveillance cameras. Relevant positioning in the men's restroom as well. All right, this is P.O.C. I am on surveillance cameras at 5:41 p.m. and the surveillance cameras in the hallways of the Montclair Plaza. That is on the second floor, right outside of the restaurant restaurants where the Panda Express is, directly across. The entire venue is filled with directed light. First of all, this is P.O.C. And then you have what is the P.O.C. that falls into the bathroom. So I want to be clear, this is documentation of what is the government. The government that flew over the mall by helicopter. The government that is acting through the people who are stalking in a bathroom. And I want to give the ongoing context. These are demon-possessed stalkers who are crowding in the bathroom, and they're all in that directed light. Okay, that's terrorism, as I'm showing you what are the criminal elements of monitoring underway inside of that bathroom. And so you have what is entering in with the deliberate purpose of maintaining audible activity while they are moving around in abnormal light. All right, normal light, standing under a light bulb does not create 2 and 3 and 4 shadows around you. That is speaking to deliberate knowledge of who I am. That is a stalker doing so on behalf of the government that is stalking into the bathroom. That's what they're doing at Montclair Place, and that's exactly what I documented both in video and in still images. Relevant positioning inside and out of the bathroom. You have what are men that are engaging in operation of their communication devices in directed light. They are monitoring while the demons are crowding inside of the bathroom, creating incessant activity, filling the bathroom with children as well, which is they're little activity creators. That's what they're doing. And this is also for purposes of prosecuting a sex offender, that is the government and the people of the state. You're going to prosecute that as what it is, engaging in sexual violence of another with children, all right? You're going to prosecute that as the sexual violence that it is and the ways in which they're doing so. And that is the entity that's in directed light inside of the private space where directed light is present. That's exactly what I captured in pictures and in images. And that is speaking to what is the deliberate intent to engage in that sexually violent and predatory conduct. That's inside of the Montclair Place restroom. That's the private space where the government is stalking, where the people of the state are stalking, engaging in what is inherent to what is demon possession, by the way. They're violent sex offenders. They are animals, including children in that sexually violent conduct. And that's exactly what I captured, and I will be publishing that on the internet. And that's going to the prosecution of the government, understanding what is necessary legislation for the government that is a sex offender. Where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, this is what the government is engaged in. You have what are third parties inside of the private space, and I exit on surveillance camera. I enter on surveillance camera. They're engaged in monitoring on surveillance camera in that hallway, entering and out. They're engaging in, entering and exiting is called patrolling. They're doing it in directed light. They're doing it vicariously on behalf of the state. So that is criminal conduct. It is also sexual violence that you're witnessing on surveillance cameras, and I do exit. It's currently 5:44 p.m., and this is P.O.C. at Montclair Place. This is documentation of what is federal stalking inside of the bathroom, which is the sexually violent pattern of conduct. P.O.C. Alrighty, it is currently 5:46 p.m. and leaving what is the venue that is going down the escalator, the AMC, which is adjacent to the Barnes & Nobles. This is the part of the parking lot where we also arrive, where the state flew over by helicopter. I want to be clear, this is for purposes of understanding the pattern of conduct. This is nothing but the government that is all around, patrolling in the parking lot and entering and exiting. This is literally a demonic entity that's pacing all around and engaging in the ceaseless engagement in the three elements. That's light activity and relevant positioning by sexually violent, psychopath, obsessed stalkers. That's the reality of what the demon-possessed are engaging in. All right, engaging in the pattern of aiming light in this direction. This is license plate 8TUY 509. And it is currently, again, 5:47 p.m. License plate 8VKS 230, in case I didn't read that one already. 7EWU 357, 8UPE 734, 08048Z2. 6MVA 828, 8MVA 669, 8WNF 042, 7TDN 766, 6TJS 437, 8ETB 652, BF 83H87, that's paper, 8MND 453, RJT 6367, that's Georgia, 8CRY 410, 6T4 1577, 7DZE 588, 8JFG 221, 8NXB 082. I want to be clear, 8ETB 652 molesting, 7VSK 322, 7WHN 889, 270WM handicap, 8VGX 240. I think I might have read that one because I didn't. 8BHL 030, 8TCH 669, and molesting is 7GWG 174. 8XZV 704, stalking with light as I walk past it, 6800381. 8HEX 055, molesting, BF 77G65, that's paper. 8TLN 130, 5HGW 079, 7APG 242, 8EOJ 478, 8JHN 148, 6ZZW 627. Where's the car at? Here we go. And let me get this one over here. Molesting with light, stalking in the parking lot, driving in directed light, license plate, that's a sex offender that's touching. This is the same sex offender stalking in the bathroom, BT13N00, that's paper. And it is currently 5:49 p.m. 8XTF 798, 8XIF 798, 7BZY 334, 8LFL 763, 6EIV 381, 8TBF 437. I think I read that one already though. All right, it's currently 5:49 p.m. (8EFL 064, BE16X04, paper 5EXA 424, 8MYY 581, 8TXA 922. This is BT13N00, that's paper. 7RYN321. 7YWJ332. 8XNB365. It's currently, by the way, 5:52 p.m. These are demons that are lining the path as she's driving through the parking lot. And this is what the state is doing with the fake sun, maintaining light all around, all right? This is what demons are doing as they stalk with light as well. And this is why you're maintaining directed light inside of venues while demons are surrounding and doing so in a bathroom as well. 8 VEB 746. And that's the sex offender as you see them in their raw form. Alrighty, it is 5:52 p.m. License plate 33539P1. Like I've shown at every other venue, and as is what logically follows, this is speaking to an expansive system. 5ARK 454, I believe, where you have directed light. 8VKS 219, 8DLR 135. This is speaking to what is a government system that is just embedded into society for the criminal convenience, for the sexually violent pattern of conduct to seamlessly be underway. 6ZNS 804, I believe. That's why you place directed light everywhere, and that's also the conduct of a sex offender on behalf of a government that is a sex offender. Placing that directed light inside of the bathroom. 5DQD 614, where surveillance and stalking on behalf of the state is underway. That's why it's there, and that's exactly what it reveals. In the same way as stalking with the fake sun, it is revealing the exact same thing. It is currently 5:53 p.m., and that is P.O.C. at Montclair Place. (92422X1) 8EXF 993 7AYK 279 38281S2. Group stalking on what is Central at the red light where the 10 freeway entrance is. Demons aiming light from the parking lot while demons cross path, including 8ZUB 339, I believe. Can't really see that license plate all the way. As you aim light, you're driving through. That's called crossing in path and light activity creation. 7KUB 967. License plates. 7VSV 142. 6HGK 472. 8UZH 371. That's exactly what the state was doing, as I'm showing you on video, while stalking, while you're looking at a third party driving by. That's called group stalking. They're crossing path. That is stalking conduct, where the fake sun is in alignment with me while I'm at 630 North Fern inside of a car, while the state is aiming engineered light, and a minion drives by creating light activity. That's what they're doing from the parking lot, and minions drive through that light. They're creating light activity, stalking in the path. All right, you're understanding what they're doing, which is also the conduct of the demon-possessed who are engaged in what is interstate stalking. They're monitoring, fixated on communication devices while they engage in this targeting conduct on behalf of the state. It's 5:57 p.m.
It's a miracle.
License plate 8LGV 939, 6TPK 379, 8EVV 444, 6UEK 221. And by the way, like I've stated, the ongoing documentation is already establishing this, and I've already shown that and stated it, but I want to reiterate the totality of what I'm revealing. I'm showing you the demons of the Ontario Police Department under the fake sun at the Ontario Mills. While I remain at 630 North Fern and you see the fake sun that is maintaining perfect alignment with me, aiming directed light inside of the vehicle, all right, which is the opposite of coincidence. That is the ongoing pattern. You are understanding what are the stalkers of the Ontario Police Department, who are kidnappers, they're thieves. All right, and they are violent sex offenders, and they are the demon-possessed. They are representing a police agency who engage in the system's pattern of conduct, the government's pattern of conduct, by virtue of that position, and engage in literally criminal conduct while they are vested in that role. All right, and so you're talking about what is understanding necessarily what are psychopaths that are revealed as such. Their condition no longer concealed. These are demons. 7XHF 140, and they are in the position of law enforcement and engaging in criminal conduct with the people of the state. That's what's happening when you're engaging in a traffic stop where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. They're demons that are monitoring together. That's what I documented at the Ramada at Windham at last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, that was this morning on the 1st. That's what I'm documenting at the Ontario Mills yesterday under the fake sun that was in alignment with me while I'm on the bus at the Ontario Mills. That's what I'm showing, okay? It's an ongoing, ceaseless pattern of conduct. And I am systematically revealing that as I remain at 630 North Fern yet again on another day, showing you what is remaining with the fake sun and following where I go, the people of the state and the agency that is the Ontario Police Department, as they've already been shown, the stalkers that they are. Very, very concerned about Erica Lorraine Spencer and listening to every word, and they are listening, and they're going to federal prison. It's 5:59 p.m. 4 p.u.m. 458. 7 VGC 211.
Oh, do you know if the library's open?
Audible activity. It is currently 5:59 p.m. still. Eight UTH 523. Seven ZMC 119. 7 EUC 998. But I can't really see that one. 8 YU 883. Substantially similar. 7B 74502. 8 KZS 641. 7 PER 321. 7 MSE 090. Can we go here real quick before we go back?
What?
Can we go here real quick?
Couldn't afford both of them.
It's 6:14 p.m. at 630 North Fern, the state creating substantial red and blue directed light across 403 West G Street and also across what is the property of 630 North Fern, doing it where I'm fixing my eyesight. That is the demon, all right? That's demonic, knowing where I'm looking and aiming directed light, which is unnaturally occurring, and it is also occurring in those colors. That's a threat, while the entity is listening to me talk about the fact that the Ontario Police Department that engages in kidnapping, they're going to federal prison. Understand that as well, okay? It's a communication of a threat, and that's exactly what you're doing when you're stalking with directed light, by the way. It's entirely freaky and weird. That's terrorism, while the entity does that all together. That's what the people of the state do, and I want to document that while I'm back in the vehicle at 630 North Fern at 6:14 p.m. P.O.C. It is currently 7:33 p.m. and I just want to document the ongoing pattern of conduct as I show you and I document on my podcast, showing you and speaking to what is the presence of ongoing directed light. That is the ongoing stalking by an entity that's occurring during the day and at night. That's 24 hours a day. The entity is engaging in ongoing stalking, and this is the people of the state who are driving by, and with simultaneity to that driving by, which is crossing path. That is group stalking by the entity, the people of the state. And while the state is also still constantly aiming what is directed light inside of the car, this is stalking that is 24 hours a day. That includes inside of the bathroom at any venue. That's where the government is maintaining ubiquitous presence, as it is stalking via the third parties that are the people of the state. And that's why you have directed light and at what is the venue, such as Montclair Place, your neighborhood shopping mall. That's why directed light is there. That's why directed light is in the bathroom, because the government is stalking in the bathroom, engaging in surveillance in the bathroom, which is the conduct of a sex offender. The conduct of a psychopath, obsessed level stalker is the government that is aiming directed light inside of this car, where the entity is also flying over by helicopter, just as I captured earlier today while I'm in the vehicle, where the state kept its fake sun over me over the street for the duration of the day. All right, where the state is aiming directed light, as I showed you also on video, aiming directed light on all the surfaces around me, as I also showed on video, and as I have also systematically documented. And so it is currently 7:35 p.m. and the entity is engaging in this ceaseless terrorism, because that's what that is, by the government, acting in concert with the people, and the state sounding helicopter activity flying over again upon my return to what is 630 North Fern. And this is the ongoing pattern of conduct by the entity. And I just want to make sure I publish this on my podcast. This is the ongoing P.O.C. This is not new. This is what is documentation of a ceaseless pattern of conduct by the government. And that is speaking to the ongoing necessity of what is additional federal policy. The entity is engaging in what is interstate stalking, and it is doing that with the people of the state who are stalking and maintaining presence on behalf of the government. And that is the legal status that the people of the state of California maintain, regardless of their personal identity, regardless of their age, their race, whatever it is their location happens to be. They are present on behalf of the government where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. And that's exactly what I am documenting. And that is why you have what is ceaseless stalking everywhere that I'm going, which is present in an environment that is entirely abnormal. It is conducive to what is monitoring with communication devices on a massive scale with those third parties and state actors who are monitoring and stalking in concert together, which is what is revealing what is also demonic activity. All right. It is currently 7:36 p.m. and that is the ongoing P.O.C.